It's time! It's time! Put your sunglasses on. Total eclipse of the heart is about to begin. What's up, Nesio? What's up, Floor Bibby? What's up, Floor? Josh, Bibby says you look like blind Ray Charles. That's the only kind of Ray Charles. What do you mean? Is there a not blind Ray Charles? What do you mean? He says I look like blind Ray Charles. That's redundant. You can just say I look like Ray Charles. Anyway, guys, the epic eclipse happened today. Was anybody raptured? Was anybody caught up? Reaped? The rapture could have happened and we probably would have no idea because nobody getting taken up. Who saw the eclipse today? I know it's over. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing about it, but I haven't done my breakdown yet. And today's eclipse day. And there's a lot more than just the moon blocking out the sun that we got to worry about. We got red heifers. We got dang NASA shooting demon rockets. We got Elon landing rockets backwards. We got Cern. Every time Cern's coming on, all the Christians freak out, lose their dang mind because a portal to hell's going to open up. And they're opening it up every couple months. They're turning it on. Nothing's happening. The portal has not ripped us open a new butthole on Earth yet. But we're going to look at all that stuff. I've talked about CERN before. I've talked about the Elon rockets before that land themselves. But the science is coming along very quickly. We're getting to a place where it's not going to be very pretty. Josh idea for Monday night shows, just saying, with Josh Smith. Just saying with Josh Smith. You can dox my last name. You can't dox Josh Smith. You know how many million of us there are? If we did an army where everybody had to have the same first and last name, I guarantee you Josh Smiths would take over the dang world. We'd whoop all the other, except for the Muhammads. I'm sure there's some dang old a la Muhammads. There's probably a lot of them, and they're probably pretty crazy. I don't know if they can beat the Josh Smiths, but just saying with Josh Smith, I get it because it's like JS. Okay, let's turn this music off because it's JS. I know every time somebody's writing a comment and they say JS at the end, I think they're referring to me. So I'm like, oh, what are they talking about? And then I read it and I'm like, I don't understand. I guess maybe I missed a message. I got to scroll up. What are they saying to me? But then I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, no, just saying. I'm saying, just saying. I'm just saying, just saying. I'm just saying, JS. Just saying. I get it. I get it. Exactly. Exactly, Josh. Hey, producer. All right, guys. I got a lot of new stuff to talk about. I know the eclipse is over, so I don't get to fear monger you like everybody else about the apocalypse and all that. I guess it didn't happen, but we're gonna look at what some of the theories and whatnot were, and just some of the stuff that's going on. I was watching some videos last night. Yeah, see, they have it in this article: the Nineveh, Ohio, Nineveh, Indiana, Nineveh, Pennsylvania, and then the eclipse maps have a crossing pattern. The old one went through a bunch of Salems, and now the new one goes through a bunch of Ninevehs, and it's a bunch of weird. It's like numerology, basically looking for codes in things that aren't there, and it's very similar to astrology. It's very similar to astrology. numerology, um, this looking for codes. So at the end of the show, we'll talk about some of that stuff too. So we're doing a stargazing episode. Today's episode's all about um, the dangers of trying to find codes and hidden messages and figure things out to figure out when the apocalypse is, or to predict the future, or looking at the stars, astrology, zodiac symbols, stargazing, how it's all fake. It never comes true. And all the Christians that gullible Christians who bandwagon on every freaking little thing that comes out and freak out and lose their dang minds. This is how cults are formed. This apocalyptic fear mongering about the end times. That's how Seven-Day Adventists. That's how Waco. That's how Jonestown. All these cults get started by fear mongering people about the end times. The Anthill kids, all of them. So once again, it's been proven again, and the gullible Christians who just go along with everything that the world tells them, um, they still don't get it. They still haven't figured it out. So we'll look at all the. We could talk about the eclipse and call it the reclipse because we're talking about it again. Get it? Get it? Did anybody see it today? I went out because it said that it was happening for me from 12 to 1:45. And I went out there at like 12:15, put some sunglasses on, wrapped my blanket around me because I was sleeping. I was in my boxers. I was going to sleep. So I just wrapped my blanket around, went on the porch, put some sunglasses on. Dude, it was so bright outside today. You'd think that on eclipse day, the sun would be weaker, but it was so bright out today. I couldn't even get a glimpse of it. Like I put sunglasses on, I'm trying to glance up at it, and it's like blinding me, blinded by the light. And all I could see is a little chunk out of it, but it was so bright, and I didn't have the special glasses. I heard you can make the special glasses out of a cardboard box. You cut a slit in it, you put like a mirror on it, and you see it, something like that. But anyway, hold on. I had one other article that I want to open up before I open up all these other articles. History of eclipses. The history of eclipses. So first, science basic stuff. I saw it for a few minutes. Yeah, I don't want to say it was unimpressive because I bet if you had the cool glasses, it's pretty impressive, and it is impressive because God's the only one that could figure out why this unprecedented eclipse happened, you know, and God and the angels, you know, that hang the stars in the balance. It is impressive, but you know, if an eclipse is impressive, then rain is impressive. You know, it's impressive as a tree growing is impressive. You know, it's the type of impressive we take for granted. I saw it for a few minutes. But yeah, so this whole show today is going to be about the dangers of trying to predict the end times, fear mongering about the apocalypse, um, all that stuff, stargazing, and then we'll even get into a little bit of like astral projection and dream weaving and lucid dreaming and how all this stuff, it's real. It's real. You might see results if you start trying to practice lucid dreaming and astral projection. You might see some sort of results. You might be gifted, but it's not the type of gift you want. It's more like a curse. It's the dark arts. You're opening holes. You're opening gateways for demons trying to play with this crap. And also red heifers. Come on, I've seen red heifers since I was a little kid all over the place. A red heifer is not an uncommon thing. There, have you ever been to a cow farm? There's red heifers all over the place. Anyway, we'll talk about all that stuff. Um, she would love the stargazing segment. I don't know if she would, unless she agrees with me that it is dark arts, which I think she does because I think she changed her mind about that stuff, which is good. But anyway, let's look at eclipse history of eclipses from science.nasa.gov. I know you guys. I know the flat tards. They're gonna say NASA's Hebrew for lies. No, it's not. Nope, that's not true. Just like it's not true that Ishtar is the origins of Easter. Just like it's not true that what was the other thing I was saying earlier? Um it's not true that the apocalypse is coming because of an eclipse. Just like all those things aren't true. Allow me to show you just some NASA info. I know the NASA haters are going to lose their dang minds. Eclipses have been occurring on Earth since long before humans walked the planet. Throughout time, humans have had different interpretations of and reactions to these striking celestial events. Look at it. It's pretty cool. This is multiple pictures. NASA rhymes with massa. Wonder how many new bills and laws were voted on and signed today while the world was freaking out over the eclipse. Exactly, Stubborn. I was going to say that too. What's the real, what really happened today? What really happened today? What was going on in Congress and the Senate today, when nobody was looking? I do know that Joe Biden is working on some more student loan stuff. And I do know that Trump said today something about abortion, something he's going to do with abortion. Um, so we'll look all that in breaking news. But the oldest recorded eclipse in human history may have been on November 3rd, 3340 BCE. See, like, how can we really know that? A series of spiral shaped and circular petroglyphs was found at the Loughrea megalithic monument in County Meath, Ireland. Petroglyphs are rock carvings made by pecking in a stone immediately in front of a carving that shows overlapping concentric circles. Archaeologists found the charred remains of nearly 50 individuals. Scholars continue to research and discuss the meaning of the petroglyphs. Petroglyphs. See, they were worshiping the moon and stuff. The sun doesn't give the light to the moon, assuming the moon's gonna owe one. Makes me think how you act, me do. But they rapidly did turn around. Sorry, I just broke into Lincoln Park. Did you see the bid-in video about the eclipse? I swear he was looking at the wrong side of the sun. What? That don't even make no sense. Oh, look, some ancient eclipse art, bro. I mean, that could be an octopus. That could be somebody drawing a squid billy. You know. I'm really not too interested in the history of eclipses from NASA. Oh, it's digital. Must be fake. It's not too long of an article, but this countrywide celestial event was supported by many government agencies in addition to NASA, such as the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, national parks. Americans viewed that eclipse. 61 million saw it electronically. 154 million stepped outside to see it with their own eyes. People in the United States will have a chance to experience solar eclipses again with a total solar eclipse on April 8th, which provides unique opportunities for science, education, and exploration. Okay. So apparently this one was super unprecedented, like it wasn't supposed to be happening. I don't know. I think they say stuff like that to hype people up more. Um, but let me. I don't want the. I don't want to look at the conspiracy theories yet. I just want to look at some information about the basic information about the eclipse. So, as seen on Salt Lake, the eclipse will begin at 11:25 and last until 1:41. Your best bet for a good view is to head south. Well, that's all that says. Let me see. This is the advertisement.
Everything outdoor.
Let's play this little news clip from Utah. I think we got like 60 to 70% totality, which means 70% of the sun was covered.
Until our first solar eclipse since 2017, total solar eclipse, I should say, 36.
See, 2017 isn't even that long ago. It was 5 years ago. And now they're like, there's not going to be another one for the rest of our lives. I bet you there will be another one in like 5, 6 years.
Million people will be in the path of totality on Monday. And while that won't be the case in Utah, you will see a partial eclipse.
Remember that path of totality, because that's going to be important when we get into the conspiracy theories that people were spreading about this. Christians, mind you, lots of Christians, gullible Christians, they'll believe anything, and I say this jokingly, or I say this seriously, and it's going to sound insulting, maybe even blasphemous, but if you believe that a guy can walk on water and rise from the dead, then you'll believe any stupid thing. So I understand why Christians are gullible. And I do believe that Jesus walked on water and rose from the dead and did miracles and all that stuff. I believe people lived 900 years. I believe God made the earth in 7 days. I believe there was a flood and there was an ark that survived the flood. I believe all that stuff. And I will say, if you're the type of person who can believe in that, then you'll believe in any stupid thing that you read on the internet. And it's so true. That's why a lot of Christians are flat earthers. Straight up.
Across our state. Your best bet to see it is to head down south, the southeast, the St. George area over to Bryce Canyon. Can expect to see 50 and 55% of totality. Now, we asked the National Park Service if they have any plans.
Look at that beautiful mountain range in Utah.
Or if they expect an increase in visitors.
Great bike trails. Look at those bike trails. What?
Visitors say currently they don't expect that increase, but it is expected to begin Monday.
Looks like you all shouldn't have headed down south because it's cloudy than a mug down south. Up here, there was no clouds in the sky. The sun was like right above my head, and I could see a chunk out of it, but it was like blinding, blaringly bright. They're out here down south. They probably went down south to see it, and there's clouds like crazy down there.
At 11:45 a.m. Mountain Time, that eclipse.
You didn't get to see it. That's funny. All right, now let's get into the conspiracy theories. All right, so from Yahoo News, solar eclipse triggers onslaught of conspiracy theories across social media. Alex Jones, Eclipse Pass, and Power Grids debunking the most popular conspiracy theories ahead of Monday's eclipse. So this one, this is one of the things. This path of totality are these lines, and apparently there was another eclipse that happened a long time ago, and it made one of these lines across the U.S., and it crossed through a bunch of towns called Salem. And then the other one, the new one, is going the other way, and it's going to have a center point here, and it crosses through a bunch of towns called Nineveh, Indiana, Nineveh, Ohio, Nineveh, Pennsylvania. And basically what this is, what they don't tell you is that it goes through lots and lots and lots and lots of towns. And if you had a list of all those towns, I'm sure there's lots of them that are multiples. And if you took all the multiples and added them up, you'd find that there might be more Jonestowns than Ninevehs that it crosses over. There might be more, I don't know, what's a common town name or street name or something like that. There might be more of another one than there is Nineveh, but they'll cherry pick the Nineveh to get you to that. And that's what these numerologists and these code breakers and the stuff they got too much time on their hands, and they're looking for codes, and then they'll say, oh, did you know if you take the number 38 and you divide it by 3 and you add 6, you get 35, and 35 is the number of the year, and if you subtract 2 from that, which is the number of eclipses, and then the rings of Saturn, if you add that to it, then you get bro, these people got too much time on their hands, and they are watching too much TikTok. That's what it is. Now Alex Jones is based, but, I don't know what he was saying about the eclipse, but if he was saying it was the end times or something like that, he was wrong on this one. Eclipse can be rearranged into epic lies. That alone proves that the moon isn't real. Don't worry, I added an extra I. Right, right. Did you know eclipse is Hebrew for epic lies? If you rearrange the letters in epic lies, you get eclipse. Wait, epic lies has two eyes. Don't worry about that. Two eyes is like you need the third eye. Two eyes is the third eye minus added to one eye, which is the eclipse, because there's two eyes, and then you eclipse together into one eye, which is the third eye. Got it? Got it. Okay. Do I sound like a numerologist? Bro, I could do the new numerology thing. I could do the crazy code breaker guy. If I could do that. I could be one of those guys. Okay. Why does it not let me read the article? Get off this. Okay. Depending on who you ask, April 8th could go one of two ways. It will either be when a total solar eclipse happens, putting on a show for roughly 44 million people who live within the eclipse's path, or it will be the end of the world. During a total solar eclipse, some places on Earth are entirely shielded from the sun by the moon. For a few minutes. In North America, the eclipse will start on the Pacific coast of Mexico and travel a diagonal path northeast across the U.S. before leaving the continent shortly before 4 p.m. Eastern Time. The U.S. won't see another total eclipse for the next 20 years. I call BS on that. I bet you get another one in 5 years. While most people seem excited, many even traveling to other states to witness the eclipse firsthand. Others are spreading misinformation, harmful misinformation about the event. Some prominent social media users, like InfoWars host Alex Jones, has spent the last few weeks spreading conspiracy theories about the eclipse on X, which have reached millions of people. Now, to be fair, Alex Jones does a show on the internet where he talks about conspiracy theories. So when Alex Jones says something like this and he's wrong, I don't think any less of Alex Jones. I don't have a problem with that because that's what he does. That's what his show is about, right? But I don't think Alex Jones is really stressing that the world is going to end over an eclipse. But the problem is people will hear Alex Jones say it and they'll like lose their damn minds. They'll go hide in a bunker. Like people are really genuinely afraid of the end of the world at every drop of a hat. We see this so many times throughout history, so many times just throughout my lifetime. All the time, there's always an end time event that's coming. And it drives the economy, which is great. You know, as a capitalist, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with sunglass sales going up. I'm okay with beer sales going up and parties on the weekends and so on and so forth. I'm okay with all that. I like it. Drives the economy. That's good. And I'm okay with Alex Jones saying some crazy stuff about the eclipse. What I don't like is the Christians who lose their dang minds. They lose, you're supposed to believe in God. You're supposed to have no fear, doubt, or worry. And you're also not supposed to take any thought of tomorrow. And you're also not supposed to be trying to guess when the end times are. But they do all those things. And that's the part that kind of annoys me. What's up, Stephen Will? What's up, Terry Strange? Part of what makes conspiracy theories so compelling is their flexibility and malleability. Yotam Afir, an expert in media effects, persuasions, and misinformations at the University of Buffalo, told Yahoo News, those who understand the world through conspiratorial lenses tend to interpret events, especially dramatic ones, as being driven by intentional, often evil forces. Ophir argues large component of why conspiracy theories spread and stick is that they're based in emotions, emotional damage. Conspiracy theorists are usually scared or angry. Um, yeah, I think I can agree with that. Jeffrey Blevins, a professor of journalism at the University of Cincinnati, noted that the emotional ties to these beliefs also explain why conspiracy theories don't seek out any information that could contradict or negate their existing views. Yeah, that's also true. I agree with that. Usually they'll stumble onto something that they read on TikTok Like, for example, Easter came from Ishtar, and they just believe it. They don't actually look into it because it's easily debunkable. A lot of these things, the earth is flat. They'll think the earth is flat because they saw some YouTube videos, and then they'll say, well, I don't know. I'm just asking questions. And it's like, but you're not asking questions, because if you were asking questions, you would do a little bit of research. You would just read a little bit. Destiny said this, Stephen and Ben Shapiro have both said this exact same thing, and I've heard both of them say it. So I don't want to sound like I'm copying them, but they're both right that the people who say, I'm just asking questions, and then they say a bunch of stupid stuff, aren't really asking questions, because if they were asking questions, then they would just find the answer. You just go find the answer. It's not that hard. There's books, there's internet. You could read stuff. You don't just have to watch a TikTok and then start asking questions. Just go ask the questions on the internet, figure it out. But they don't. They don't really want to figure out the truth. They just want to be edgy and question the truth. Who's Ben? Ben Shapiro? Yeah, if you like short weasel looking guys that talk asking questions going down the wrong way. People want to win an argument, make a point, or simply seek validation that their beliefs are right. That's true. If there's a pithy meme or some kind of content that they can share on social media that is going to reinforce their beliefs, they want to share it with others. Exactly. Exactly. The foundation of conspiracy theories is an us versus them. Now, I also, to be fair, I'm not agreeing with everything that's written in this. This is probably a liberal writing this, but conspiracy theory is often sometimes just a word that they use to discredit truth tellers. A lot of the people who are conspiracy theorists are doing the research. They are asking the questions. They are getting the answers. The problem is that once they find the answers, the mainstream media in the world wants to shut them up and silence them because they don't want that stuff getting out. So sometimes the people that are asking questions are really asking the right questions, and they're actually doing their due diligence to find out the answers. And then the world doesn't want those answers getting out, so they will call you a conspiracy theorist or a crazy person or an angry or fearful person or a fear mongerer or whatever. But a lot of the conspiracy theorists and the truth seekers are just low IQ people. They're just they're dumb TikTok minded people, and they'll just share out whatever. They'll share out whatever meme without doing 2 seconds to look if it's true. We got to fix that. We can't be having that no more. We can't be having this reverse Flynn effect in America. We need to be getting smarter, not dumber. No, the earth is not flat. No, the eclipse is not passing over 8 towns called Nineveh. A popular theory is that the solar eclipse will pass over several towns named Nineveh in the U.S. Now, a guy on Michael Knowles said this. I watched the Michael Knowles video last night. He did an interview with a guy, and the guy was doing this claim. Depending on the post, some have said it's 6 towns, others say it's 7 or 8. People claim it's notable because Nineveh is also the name of the town that the Bible figure Jonah, a Hebrew prophet. We did our Jonah story not too long ago. Nineveh was the town that God was going to wipe out and was sending Jonah to warn them. Visited in some double town suggested that an eclipse happened during the biblical visit too. Thus, some social media users suggest this is a sign from God. There are eclipses in the Bible. There's times in Isaiah when Jesus died on the cross, it turned dark for 3 days. The Mormons say it was 3 weeks. I've debated with them about this. I said, why does the Book of Mormon say that it turned dark for 3 weeks? And the Bible says it was 3 days or 3 hours. I can't remember what it was, but like one of them says 3 hours and one of them says 3 days, or one of them says 3 days and one of them says 3 weeks. And they're like, well, uh, they didn't have a good answer. But anyway, the truth hurts, so this should be painless. They turn from their ways. Praise the Lord. Conspiracy is the word FBI and CIA like to use too, I suppose. Yes, right. That's what I was saying, Steve. Terry puts Ben Shapiro on 2x speed when she's feeling saucy. What? 2x speed Ben Shapiro? Are you crazy? All right. Conspiracy theories often see the world in Manichaean ways, meaning they see the world as composed of purely good people who are in never ending war against evil forces. Very biblical in nature, strongly embedded in Christianity and other religion. In reality, 2 towns named Nineveh are in the path of totality, one in Ohio and one in India. So see, this is the thing that they'll do. And what I don't what I don't get is how Michael Knowles, who has a very large fan base and he's supposed to be a facts over feelings type guy, when he has a guy on his show who says that the path of totality is going to cross over 8 towns called Nineveh, why is Michael Knowles not fact checking this, or at least like Michael Knowles just smiled and nodded his head and laughed and said, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool." He didn't do any sort of investigation into it. You got like 1.5 million subscribers, Michael Knowles. You're supposed to be the smart guy. Why, when he said that, didn't you say, "No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not happening"? You just let him slide with it. You just let him slide and spread the lie. So I don't know, but um so and I guess so this was the thing. The 2017 eclipse crossed over a bunch of towns called Salem, allegedly. And then the 2024 eclipse is crossing over a bunch of towns called Nineveh. The paths cross in a certain spot, and they say that that's a relevant spot. A TikTok with over 10 million views suggests that we should be suspicious that the path crosses the U.S. in the opposite direction, making a big X over the U.S. TikTokers claim this has never happened in the United States. We have never had 2 solar eclipse passes cross over a town. While, yes, the pass will cross, it's not anything more than that. Eclipse paths have and will continue to cross paths frequently because they move in curving arcs across the Earth. Every eclipse pass crosses another eclipse pass at some point. That doesn't mean anything. And nothing happened in that town, by the way. So in a TikTok gets 10 million views. And now you have 10 million people spreading this. And then they're sharing their TikToks, and those TikToks are getting views. Josh Wright, I have a similar opinion. I think at least to what you think when it comes to somebody like Destiny. He's a smart guy. He's not an idiot. I don't agree with a lot of things he says, but he can articulate it well. Yeah, when he's not too like methed out, he articulates his ideas pretty well, and he tries to be somewhat fair. Oh my god! Oh my god! No, the eclipse will not cause the collapse of power grids and communication systems across the U.S. No, the government's going to do that. The eclipse is not going to do that. If that happened today, I still would not have blamed the eclipse. I would have said, well, today's the day they plan to do it, to blame it on the eclipse. Like they were going to do it at some point, and they just used the eclipse as the time so they could say it's the eclipse's fault that the power grid just shut down. We're not trying to kill everybody. But yeah, so see, if the power grids would have went down today, I still wouldn't have been saying it was because of the eclipse. I would have said the eclipse is just an excuse. That's the conspiracy theory. Sometimes people will take the surface level conspiracy theory and they won't actually figure out the truth, because the truth is deeper than that. Like like the conspiracy theory is not that the earth is flat. There is no conspiracy theory that the earth is secretly flat and the government has been lying to us to tell us that the earth is round. That's not conspiracy theory. The conspiracy theory is that the earth is round and the elites used to tell us it was flat until we discovered that it was round by exploring and doing science. We figured out the world was round. Now, the actual conspiracy is that atheists have reinvigorated this flat earth movement to make Christians look like morons. That's the conspiracy theory, is that they're discrediting you. They're making you look like a dumb conspiracy theorist by getting you to believe something totally insane. The conspiracy theory is that flat Earth is actually an op to make people discredit themselves as conspiracy theorists. Because as soon as you believe the Earth is flat, nobody's going to listen to anything you say about anything. You are labeled an idiot. So that's the conspiracy theory. That's the conspiracy theory, is that once you believe into this off the wall idea, nothing else you say is credible. Facts. Facts. Undeniable truth. That's just true. That's a slick polo though, JS. I know I only got one. I want a couple more. I need to get a couple more. I like these polos. It's nice material too. It's not like the bumpy rough material that they're usually made of. It's like a softer material. I like it. Okay, let's check out Rolling Stones. Enough Yahoo. The far right is crawling with Eclipse conspiracy theories. Everyone has lost their goddamn minds. That's what the Josh, stop rubbing your nipples. My nipples are not up here. I was rubbing my chesticles. I'm not rubbing my nipples. My nipples are way down here. Now I'm rubbing. Now I'm rubbing the nips. Every now and then you got to get a grip on the nip. Okay. All right. Solar eclipses. Rolling Stone's not going to let me read it. But anyway, Rolling Stone saying the same thing that Yahoo saying, the far right conspiracy theorists. Kind of sucks, especially with the neoconservative jumping on the bandwagon of the Trump thing, although, of course, I will vote for him. Neoconservatives jumping on the band. How do you use the word neoconservatives? Do you use it like everybody on the internet uses it, which is wrong? Or do you mean like a real, a post-French Revolution neocon? Because I don't think there are any of those in America. You know, we're using that word wrong. Neoconservative doesn't mean new conservative. It's a specific group of conservatives after the French Revolution that were trying to go against the. Anyway, it's unimportant. Just curious, but neoconservatives jumping on the bandwagon of the Trump thing. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what that means. In fact, I would say the neocons are still anti-Trump. Like using the word how the internet uses it now. Daily Wire is a bunch of neocons. I'm not sure what you mean by that. The Jesse collection of photo. You know that I'm gonna buy it. They got one of the polos that he wears is a Reebok polo, and everybody always drops comments about his shirts. They're like, "Oh, he took all the church money and he buys shirts with it." Bro, that's a Walmart polo. It's $16. You really wish JS would install AdBlock? Oh, for my things, I do have AdBlock. It doesn't work. It doesn't actually block the ads. Okay, so we covered the um here's another USA Today debunking some of the conspiracy theories. Um, Conspiracy theories linking the eclipse to a portal opening and sex magic ritual have spread. Whoa, I don't know about that one. An assertion that the sun and the moon aren't actually aligned. And has an assertion that the sun and the moon aren't actually aligned. Claims Cern will start up April 8th to open a portal. R rating false. The Post is wrong about both the timing and nature of Cern's work. Cern's equipment began operating in March, a month before the eclipse, and the technology is nowhere near strong enough to open a portal or black hole. Well, to be fair on that one, um, I do have an article that says they started it up today. But also, we did a story about CERN starting back up after years, like a year ago. They started it up a while ago. So CERN's been running. Yeah, that is debunkable. CERN has been running for quite a while now. and we haven't exploded yet. We haven't been sucked into a black hole yet. Now, to say that the technology is nowhere near strong enough to open a black hole, that's not quite accurate because they thought like well, now they say that, but when they started it, they didn't know that. A lot of scientists were worried about turning it on because they thought that was a possibility. Just like the atom bomb. There was a possibility that the chain reaction of splitting an atom could have went on for infinity and every atom in all of the universe could have exploded and been vaporized, but that didn't happen. Luckily, I don't think we could harness that power anyway. Or maybe we can, and when we do it, that'll be the end of the world and that'll be God's pillar of fire. Is when we get too close to God and we figure out a way to blow up the universe. So I guess it is. I think that is possible that something like that could happen. The eclipse will cause 3 to 5 days of darkness. Claim is nonsense. The entire planet will not go dark for days. I know it didn't even go dark for, well, at least here. It didn't even go dark for 20 minutes. NASA is launching 3 rockets at 3 moons during the eclipse. They are launching three rockets to study the effects on the upper atmosphere. The Earth has only one moon, although many other objects such as satellites orbit the planet too. Yeah, I never heard that claim that NASA is launching 3 rockets at 3 moons during the eclipse. I heard NASA is launching 3 rockets at the eclipse. Um, and that is true. So, and that's what they'll do with these fact checks. See, like nobody, I never heard the claim that NASA is launching 3 rockets at 3 moons. The claim, which we have right here from Forbes, when to watch NASA fire 3 rockets at the solar eclipse on Monday. This is from Forbes. So this is a true story that we're about to cover in a second. NASA was firing 3 rockets in the direction of the solar eclipse to study what the eclipse is doing to the outer atmosphere of the world during the eclipse. Right? So NASA is firing 3 rockets and they are named after like demons. Well, that maybe is a conspiracy theory. I haven't looked into it yet. We can find it during the show, so it is true that NASA's firing 3 rockets at the moon on Eclipse Day, right? But then the fact check will say NASA is launching 3 rockets at 3 moons. Nobody thinks there's 3 moons, USA Today. That's not a claim anybody made. And then they'll say false. If they put the real claim, they would have to say true, but they don't want to do that because they gotta be the debunkers. The debunkers. Eclipse crosses 7 cities named Nineveh. That's false. Um, and then Little Egypt is the partly false. There are 2 Ninevehs, not 7. Like nearly all of the continental U.S., the eclipse paths do cross in Little Egypt, but that's a large region, not a town. A Birdman was seen days before the solar eclipse. I never hear that one, but that's cool. The 3 rockets launched by NASA are part of a sex magic ritual. I don't know anything about this magic ritual, but anyway, so there's some of the claims. Claim the sun and moon will not be aligned for the 2024 eclipse. That's 100% false. Duh. How do you think an eclipse happens? The moon and earth and sun will be briefly aligned on April 8th, causing a total solar eclipse. Scientists can predict eclipse based on planetary movements. Right. So, and that's obviously wrong. Like they're saying the sun's not even in the right part of the sky. Yeah, yeah, it is. That's how the eclipse happened. Now, maybe the timing is weird. The timing could be off. That's what's unprecedented. But anyway, Birdman kissing on Lil Wayne though. Yep. Um, he addressed that in a song. He said he has a song. He says something like, "My daddy, yeah, I kissed my daddy. I don't care. He raised me ever since I was a baby. Yeah, I kissed my daddy. So what? Pay me. Something like that. Yeah, he basically addressed that and said, yep, I kissed him. So what? The Diddy Diddler influence? Yeah. Maybe Birdman, but not Wayne. Well, maybe they tried to do that stuff to Wayne, and that's probably partially why he left Cash Money. He said, now it's Young Money, no more Cash Money. Y'all don't know the history. Y'all don't know the history. You don't even know what you're talking about. Y'all don't even know what you're talking about. If you paid attention to hip hop, you would have known about Diddy for the past 30 years, and Lil Wayne was calling him out from the beginning. Anyway, so what else is going on? This red heifer thing. A lot of apocalyptic stuff. The Cern thing, we kind of already talked about Cern, so let's do Cern first, and then we'll do the red heifer because it kind of ties in with some of these biblical prophecies about end times and whatnot that freak people out. Um, because now the red heifer is back, they say, which doesn't make any sense to me because I've seen red heifers since I was a little kid. First, let's do Cern. Um, this website is called Tiger Droppings. Looks like it's just a message board, so I don't know how valid this source is, but it says the European Organization for Nuclear Research, best known as CERN, will smash protons together at nearly the speed of light on April 8th, which happens to be the day a total solar eclipse will occur. After close to a 2-year hibernation, CERN will fire up its Large Hadron Collider in an attempt to discover dark matter, dark energy, and what the universe is made of. See, that's not true. Because I did a story talking about CERN like a year ago, how they fired it up after a hibernation again. So this is not true. I don't even want to read this because it's not true. Um, but they were using CERN today, but it's been on, and no portals have been opened up yet. So I'm kind of actually tired of hearing about CERN, to be honest with you. Um, it kind of interests me a little bit at first, but nothing's happening. There's not going to be no portals, no black holes opening up, no demon alien monsters coming out of the darkness of the CERN thing. Something like my daddy. Puffy ain't my daddy. Yeah, kiss my daddy. That's not what he said, but yeah, the website's called Tiger Droppings. um, NASA did fire three rockets today. I'm trying to figure out what the names of the rockets were because allegedly they were named after like some demons. Hold on. The rockets. NASA. Sounding rockets in the moon's shadow. Mission is led. What are the rockets' names? Falcon Heavy. Launcher 1, Firefly Alpha, Terran 1, Vulcan Centaur. See, Falcon. Falcon is a demon name. What's the demon name? Vulcan Centaur? Is that the. That just sounds cool. See, it's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. It's all fear mongering, end times, apocalyptic nonsense.
Starship is.
Same thing with this red heifer thing. Let's look at the red heifer and then we'll kind of same vein, but we're gonna switch gears a little bit. Look at some more space tech with Elon's self-landing rockets, which are pretty crazy. So NASA is firing rockets at the moon during an eclipse. Elon is landing rockets back on the ground. Meanwhile, there's a red cow somewhere that is another end time prophecy that's not going to come true because people take People take Revelation and Isaiah way too literally. Those are prophecies. Those are dream interpretations. Those are not, you can't take all that stuff literally. There's not actually going to be a seven-headed dragon with 10 horns and a crown on his head that rises up from the depths to devour the world. It's not actually going to be a big dragon sea monster. Now, it could be a kraken. It could be the dang kraken. But I think what's more realistic, those are different countries. Those are different regions of power in the world that are going to rise up in war against each other. That is not really a seven-headed dragon. When it talks about breaking the seals, there's not really going to be a big angel standing there breaking these seals on these scrolls and opening these scrolls up. It's just a metaphor for plagues and pestilence being unleashed on the world, which we are seeing all that. I saw a red heifer the other day. Man, I really hate going to Walmart sometimes. Did you see my comment? Maybe no, because I'm on top chat. Mr. Spock plus horse equals Vulcan centaur. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't sound demonic. People way into Revelation and Isaiah. They're good books. I mean, I think they're important, but I tell like baby Christians or people who are new to all this stuff in the Bible to stay out of Revelation. You don't need to be reading Revelation until it's at the end for a reason. I know a lot of the Bible you can bounce around and you can go from you can read I used to read a proverb every day, and then I would read like stories every now and then. You just want to read a story or you just want to read a parable, and then I also read from the beginning to the end over a long period of time. I'm working my way from the beginning to the end, but you can bounce around and it's fine. But one thing you should not do is you should not skip ahead to Revelation, because you're not going to understand it. You have to understand the Old Testament to understand Revelation, because all the stuff in Revelation and throughout the New Testament, a lot of it is just repeating the Old Testament. It's already been said. I love Isaiah and Revelation, but people go crazy on it. Definitely. Yeah. And they're not like reading it with their heart open to the revelation that is there to be had. They don't have their heart open to the revelation that you can get from reading that with understanding. And to have understanding, you need to read the stuff that came first, and then you'll understand. If you've read the whole Old Testament and then you read Revelation, things make more sense. But they're not reading it for the revelation of the heart. They're reading it for some sort of mental revelation about the future, some sort of telling of the future that's going to help them figure out when the end times are. And that's not a good way to read Revelation. That's opening up yourself to demons. The demons got me. Poor Meek Mills. Thank you for your kindness at my attempts at female humor. Mom jokes. I thought you blocked me from your channel. All good? No, yeah, and you were a mod too, huh? What happened to your modship? How did you even get blocked? Because you were a mod. You shouldn't have been able, you must have blocked yourself or something, Spike, because you were on my block list, and I don't know how that happened. Unless I accidentally blocked you when I was trying to block somebody else, because I don't think anybody else could block you because you're a mod. So I think maybe I accidentally blocked you. Maybe I was doing my pissed off block clicking where somebody says something, like Dean says something that pisses me off, so I just go, "You're blocked!" Ah! And then I click aggressively. I click fast and aggressively. And sometimes, I lose my composure and I might click the wrong name. Maybe that's what. Or YouTube. You think YouTube did it? See, this is why I'm never going to be able to cut my dreads, guys. I'm never going to be able to cut the dreads off because I'm never going to hit 5,000 subscribers, because freaking YouTube won't let me break. Like, it used to be you know, 2 or 3 subscribers a day, easy. 80 subscribers a month, easy. That was my average, 70 to 80 subscribers a month. Easy. Now, it's like pulling teeth to get 5 subscribers in a month. Oh, I'll get 5 subscribers, but I'm going to lose 10 of them. It's so ridiculous. Damn, YouTube is holding me down. They stifling you, boy. I'm trying to cut these dreads off YouTube. I got to get to 5,000 subscribers. How am I going to do that? Here's the goal, guys. The goal is before election time, before election day, we need to get to 5,000. We need to cut the dreads, and then we're going to do a 24-hour election stream in November with the short hair. And then all the conservatives are going to be like, oh, this is our boy. Look at this guy. He's got short hair. Because currently, they come to the channel and they see the dreads and they're like, oh, this is a dirty pothead hippie. Which, they're like 1/3 right. They're like 1/3 right about the dirty pothead hippie thing. I'm not a hippie and I'm not dirty. But, you know, they're only a third right. And then they leave. Erection. No, election. But anyway, y'all need to. YouTube's stifling me. You know, they're trying to hold your boy down. The only way we're going to get to 5,000 and these dreads are going to get chopped off is if you guys share out the dang video. Also, Bibby, I saw your freaking thing today. How come I'm in a wheelchair? How come I was in a wheelchair in your video, Bibby? You trying to call me cripple? My ass, you aren't a hippie? I'm not a hippie. Hippies hate me. I'm very far from a hippie. Anybody who knows me knows I'm very far from a hippie. I can't stand hippies. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I go to drum circle and I like take a huge path around the drum circle because I'm bringing my fishing pole to go fishing at the lake at the park. And to get to the lake, I got to walk through all these dirty hippies at drum circle doing all this crap, dancing around. Boom, 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 boom. I can't stand it. It drives me crazy. I don't like the smell of it. I don't like the fact that there are children there and somebody gets stabbed every week because there's a bunch of dang drug users and drug sellers and girls in their topless with children wearing beads in their hair and doing oh, I can't stand. What are you talking about? I'm a hippie. You don't know me. Just because I have dreadlocks. Now the pothead part, you got me there. You got me there. You do have drum circle vibes? No, I don't have drum circle vibes. I look like a drum circle person, but looks can be deceiving. Looks can be deceiving. I just do this to confuse people. I just do this to throw people off. They think I'm a dirty hippie. I don't hate topless women. I just hate when dirty armpit hair topless acid heads are tripping on LSD and their furry armpits are out and they're topless and there's children around and they're dancing. I don't like that. Okay? And they're burning sage. Ugh! I don't even like thinking about burning sage. I hate the smell of burning sage. Am I allowed to hate that? I'm not supposed to hate people, but I think I can hate the smell of burning sage. Chop the dreads. Chop the dreads. Hippies stink, but some are all right. I can't stand the smell of sage. Okay. Let's do this red heifer thing, and then we got earthquakes, more end time prophecies, and we got Elon's rockets. We got to get through this. The red heifer offering instructions are described in Numbers 19. The Israelites were commanded to obtain a red heifer without spot, wherein no blemish, upon which never came yoke. The heifer is then to be slaughtered and burned outside of the camp. Basically, it's an end time prophecy, the red heifer in the third temple. And now apparently in Texas, there's these guys who are breeding red heifers. And they're saying that end time prophecies are coming from the red heifer. I don't really have a lot of time to do a deep dive into this right now. I'd like to go over the Bible verses and really break it down. So maybe we'll do the red heifer stuff in another episode. But it does kind of tie in with all this end time. They say a lot of these prophecies are being fulfilled. So we'll do a deep dive on the red heifer one of these days. But right now, let's move on to some videos, some quick reels of Elon's Starship finally successfully landing itself. You know, we've been what about Elon's rockets? That's what I'm about to play, because I always cover Elon and Tesla stuff that's going on, Neuralink. Remember the big blimps that they're trying to put in space, the blimps, and they would inflate them till they blew up. So let me see, what am I looking for? Let's go here. So basically, I think we covered an attempt at landing a Starship rocket a long time ago, and it blew up. It didn't land successfully, but it almost did, and it blew up. But now they are successfully landing the Starship. So the Starship is a 10-story tall rocket, takes off, and then it can land itself, which has a huge impact on space travel and rocketry and all these fields. So let's watch this. A couple different videos here.
The largest flying object ever made. This thing will be about over 5,000 tons weight on liftoff. It's going to go straight up with 5,000 tons. This is much heavier than any aircraft by far. There's no aircraft even comes close to this weight. And it's going straight up. The aircraft can't go straight up, so it's like it's got more than twice. It will have more than twice the thrust of a Saturn V.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a big rocket.
It's like a big rocket. That is.
We've all seen spaceships take off, but
all right, here you go. This is the close-up of the Saturn V landing itself. Check this out. This is crazy. Look at all the thrusters controlling in real time. Probably AI and computers are reading everything rapid, very, very, very quickly with what the heck am I trying to say? Quantum computing. With quantum computing, almost a thing. They can real time read everything, and the thrusters are popping off all different directions.
But have you ever seen one landing? If you think this is anything short of amazing, remember that thing is as big as a 10-story building.
Look at this, watch. That's so cool. One more. Look how fast it's coming down. You hear how loud that is? Boom!
This is a pedal.
Okay. This is unimportant. This is not related, but this is supposed to be played during reels, but it popped up now. Look at this pedalless bike. This is so stupid. Irrelevant sidebar just because it started playing. Y'all are probably like, what the heck is that? This is the dumbest invention I've ever seen.
Bicycle. Flitz was designed by German designers inspired by Love Machine in the 1800s to create a new style of urban mobility, and it doesn't have a seat, gears, chains, or pedals. According to designers,
so essentially you're just walking.
Flitz's laminated frame and 5-point belt system make it more ergonomic and comfortable than a conventional bike.
No, I think that seems like a horrible idea. I don't want one. Anyway.
We've all seen spaceships.
That's that. Why a self-landing rocket is so important for space. Getting into space is certainly not a cheap business, but Elon Musk wants to make it cheaper with a rocket ship and a drone. The challenge with putting anything into space at all is the fuel costs. The cost of building the rocket and, well, building everything so that it launches smoothly and doesn't blow up or get broken along the way. But seriously, creating new rockets is a big reason why space is so expensive. At least that's how Musk, who created a company called SpaceX, sees it. So for the last few times that his company has sent a Dragon spacecraft into space, there's been another show, The Landing. They have now made several attempts to direct a first stage rocket on an autonomous ship. It's extremely hard. Oh, they're trying to land a rocket on a boat now. It's extremely hard once they hit the ship with titanic force, basically rupturing the rocket. Another time, the waves were so high that they had no choice but to abort. But if you look at the video of the latest attempt last week, you can see that they came oh so close. Look how hard that rocket is fighting to stay upright as it lands. So now they're trying to land it on a dang boat. That's crazy. No audio here. Get it, get it, get it. Oh, you got it. Oh, you hit it. It hit it. But the boat is moving. So the rocket's using thrusters to try to stay up, and it crashed. That was a failure. Boom! Look at the rocket and the ship blow up. That's pretty cool. I didn't know they were trying to land them on boats. Although this attempt was again a failure, the sense that the rocket did not land successfully. So they'll be landing it on a rocket within a couple months. No hull breach and repairs are minor. Impact overpressure is closer to a fast fire than an explosion. 3 days later, because of hard rocket landing confirmed as due to slower than expected throttle valve response. Next attempt in 2 months. But yeah, they're landing rockets now. And it makes it cheaper. Basically, it just makes it cheaper. You don't have to build a new rocket every time you send it out to space. Pretty cool. My ex was evil and got sick every time I burned sage. It's not about being evil. It's because it smells nasty. That smells gross. It's not about evil. It's not about ghost spirits. You're not smudging out the ghost spirits. That's all nonsense. It just stinks. It smells bad. Anybody with half a brain should get sick when they smell that because it smells gross. You've just convinced yourself that it smells good because you think you're getting rid of evil spirits, but you're not. Stop it. Stop it, Terry Strange. Nobody wants to smell that crap. It smells gross. The Space Poop Challenge article? What's the Space Poop Challenge? They said the hippies of the 60s are the yuppies of maybe the 90s or the 80s. I can't remember. I know the hippies of the 60s led to a lot of the nonsense. I'm watching you. You're watching me? Hey, stop burning that sage, lady. Papa Hobo, don't hide your eyes. I was reading that. You can't delete it while I'm reading it. What the heck? I don't want to go to outer space. What about inner space? Would you do a parabolic flight? Would you do a low Earth orbit space flight that gets you from like England to Australia in like 20 minutes? Because it's coming soon. All right. So we got all that. And then we got earthquakes. We got earthquakes all over the world. I got to move faster. Still got to do memes. I burn incense sometimes, but not sage. Incense is all right. Incense smells good sometimes. I like some incense. The sage is gross. Okay, earthquakes. We got the Taiwan earthquake, and we got the New York New York earthquake. Hualan, Taiwan earthquake from CNN. Dozens trapped in Taiwan's strongest quake in 25 years. Kills at least 9. Didn't we report on a Taiwan earthquake? I feel like 6 months ago that killed like 600 people. Was that in Taiwan or was that somewhere else? I know we just covered a big earthquake like 6 months ago. That a lot of people died. But this one only killed 9 people, so.
The Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash back.
And to be fair, this is all biblical prophecy. Strange signs in the sky, earthquakes, strange natural disasters all over the place is all signs of the end times. But I would argue that since the beginning of time, since Jesus came and died and resurrected, the signs of the end times have been continuous, constant. There's always an antichrist on earth because Satan doesn't know the day. Jesus didn't even know the day, but Jesus is supposed to be God. But God knows the day, but Jesus doesn't know the day. But Jesus is God, right? That makes sense. But Satan doesn't know the day, so Satan always has to be prepared for the end times. So this is something interesting. There always is going to be signs of the end times. There's always an antichrist living on earth or multiple antichrists because Satan always has to be ready and he doesn't know the day. Just like we don't know the day, just like Jesus didn't know the day. So all the end time stuff is constantly happening, always. Let's watch what CNN has to say about this earthquake in Taiwan
Back on what you want, like a surprise.
after the ad's over. Rescuers in Taiwan scrambled to free dozens of people trapped in highway tunnels after the island was struck by its strongest earthquake in 25 years Wednesday, killing at least 9 and injuring more than 900 others.
Capturing traffic coming to a standstill as it all happens, and the highway very clearly beginning to shake. And then there's also this. One man, he was in a rooftop swimming.
Whoa, he got a wave pool. This guy's in his swimming pool and it got turned into a wave pool. Have you ever been to Adventure Island or like a water park? They have wave pools. That's what this looks like.
Pool when it all started. You can see the
Look at this guy.
massive waves that were caused by the tremors. We're also getting a look of how it unfolded inside one television studio. Watch this.
Oh,
So scary. So scary, no matter what the angle is that we're showing you here from all of this
bro, get out of there. Those things are going to start falling on your head.
Video. Let's get right over to CNN's Hanneke Montgomery, who's tracking all of this for us from Tokyo. Hanneke, what's the latest?
Hanukkah? Her name is Hanukkah? Put on your yarmulke. Here comes Hanukkah. So much Hanukkah to celebrate Hanukkah.
Hi, Kate. I mean, yeah, like you saw there, really, really alarming footage coming out of Taiwan this morning local time. So, as you mentioned, we know that.
Yeah, that wave pool looks pretty awesome, to be honest. Not gonna lie, that wave pool looked pretty cool.
At least 9 people were left dead, and more than 900 people were actually left injured because of this very powerful earthquake and the subsequent aftershocks. We also know that of the 9 people who died, all of them were killed in Hualien County, where it was very close to the epicenter, and actually where most of the significant.
She does not look like a Hanukkah.
Significant damage has been taking place. And just for context, Hualien County is located on the eastern coast of Taiwan. It's a very popular tourist destination. It's also a rural area and coincidentally where most of Taiwan's earthquakes actually occur. So we also know that 56 people were trapped in.
What's up? Nessio and Stephen Will leaving at the same time? What do you guys have, a date? Where are y'all going out to eat?
Hualien County. Originally, that number was up to 131, but rescue operators were able to rescue all the people trapped in those tunnels to safety.
Okay, so yeah, earthquake Taiwan.
If you have Graves' disease,
Joe Biden stuff, I don't care. 29 aftershocks so far since the first one, greater than a magnitude of 4.0 near the epicenter. Of these aftershocks, one was about 6.0 and 13 have been at or above 5.0. 75 people were stranded in various tunnels in Hualien County, have been rescued by emergency responders. 137 people remain trapped. Among those trapped were 50 employees of the Silks Place Hotel in Taroko, who were traveling by 4 minibuses. Authorities have been unable to reach them by phone and have listed them as trapped for the time being. 2 German citizens that were caught up earlier in a tunnel in Hualien County have been rescued. Look at that. That whole building sideways. Y'all need to work on your engineering, Taiwan. You need to step that engineering game up. Here's Here's some of the. So long, gay boys. It's not nice. That's not nice. We're just joking. Bromantic. See, y'all can't announce that you're leaving at the same time. Can't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's a no-no. Turkey, Taiwan, New York. There was one in Turkey also. I don't have that one. I do have this video of a boulder crashing during the earthquake on this car. Watch this car just get smashed. You better get out of that damn car. A boulder is coming. Watch it. Where's it going to come from? I haven't seen this yet. Where is it? Imagine you hear it. It sounds like King Kong. Boom! Damn, that car would have got mushed. Oh! You got it. Damn, you almost got smashed, bro. You backed up right into the path of the bigger rock. Oh, it got hit again. Get out of there. Could you imagine? That would be so scary. Hold on. I want to see that one more time. Look, this car backs up. If it would have stayed where it was, well, there's two rocks. It dodges the one that would have taken him off of the mountain. That one would have taken that car off the mountain. But then this one, boom, he backed up right into it. Flattened the car's rear end before crashing down the mountain. Dude, you got lucky. Man, that's wild. Look at that. Boom. If that would have hit that car's roof, that person's done for. What you got to do is you got to get out of your car and you got to watch the rocks. What movie is that from? Where they're shooting what is called catapults. They're shooting catapults at the army, and the people start running, and the guy grabs the other guy by the shoulder. He says, "Wait, wait, wait. Now move." Like, you don't want to. As soon as they all launch into the sky, or as soon as the rock starts rolling down the mountain, you don't want to preemptively dodge, because you might dodge into the oncoming traffic of the boulder. You want to wait. You want to watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it, and then at the last second, then you move. Now that you mention it, LSP does sound like Christ Conquerors. You think they're the same person? I don't think so. Nikki was so hurt today that you blocked her, C-Sal. C-Sal blocking everybody. She ain't got time for no mess. I don't know what y'all are talking about. And a box of wine. I don't know what that's referencing, but I don't know what y'all are talking about. But yeah, so Taiwan, and then we have the New York earthquake, or New Jersey, and there's aftershocks. 4.0 magnitude aftershock hits New Jersey after 4.8 earthquake rocks the Northeast. So we got aftershocks coming. That's not even that bad, bro.
Holy I don't know if this is an earthquake, so I feel like I'm gonna sit down. I don't think it is, but I think it's just the construction, but it's very weird.
You think construction made your whole building shake?
And it scared me.
Has that ever happened before while they were doing construction?
I'm having an earthquake. Holy What the
Calm down, bud. You're in the woods. You're fine.
You feel that? I did. What the
Don't go on the balcony.
Temblor en Nueva York. Wow.
Wait, this is America?
Acabó de temblar.
Bro, that's so cool. Everybody goes out on the balcony and just yells at each other in these cities. Did you feel that? That felt like a dang earthquake. Me too. He said, I thought it was an earthquake. He said, I thought that was a dang earthquake. And the other guy goes, me too. Got some rocket scientists in New York. Some dang geologist experts. Nothing. I don't even see anything. Come on. Oh, now they're running outside. That's dumb. I don't even. It wasn't that bad. Anyway, strange earthquakes. An earthquake rattled the northeastern United States on Friday morning, and a strong aftershock struck the early evening around 8 hours later. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the initial 4.8 magnitude quake was centered 7 kilometers north of White House Station. 7 kilometers is like, it's like 3 miles, because we don't speak French here. North of White House Station, New Jersey, about 50 miles west of New York City, at a depth of of a depth of about 2 miles. It can be felt as far south as Washington, D.C., and as far north as Boston. USGS reported the aftershock felt just after 6 p.m. Eastern Time, was 4.0 magnitude and centered near Gladstone, New Jersey. Services were impacted. Let's see. What's Greta Thunberg got to say about this? When was New York City's last earthquake? History of earthquakes in New York. New Yorkers have, and this is from timeout.com, fair share of disasters to worry about: hurricanes, nor'easters, subway shutdowns. Is a subway shutdown a natural disaster? Oh, it just says disaster. Okay. Friday, April 18th, 4.8 magnitude. While the rumbler was an unusual experience for us, it turns out that earthquakes are more common in New York City than you might think. They're normally just very small. I didn't even know there was a fault line in New York. They've had at least 19 earthquakes with a magnitude of 2.4 or higher. 18 large earthquakes since 1737. Today was the 19th. That's kind of rare, though. In 300 years, you've had 19. That's not that common. Both of the biggest earthquakes originating from New York City had a 5.2 magnitude. Not that big. Most similar earthquake to what we felt on Friday was in 1783. 4.9 magnitude in 1783. So not super common, but also not unheard of. Last from USA Today, 4.0 magnitude. Yeah, more of the same. No major disruptions or damages have been reported in New Jersey or New York. We have activated our state of emergency operations centers. Please do not call 911 unless you have an actual emergency. I think that's generally the rule, but okay. President Joe Biden spoke with Murphy about the quake, and White House is monitoring the situation. Yeah, Joe just thought he had forgotten to take his medicine and the ground was shaking. Nope, it was an earthquake, Joe. He thinks everything's under control, Biden told reporters before leaving the White House for a trip to Baltimore. He's not too concerned about it. The governor of New Jersey, so things are all right. The governor's not concerned about it, so things are all right. Just the whole world's about to explode. Okay, so earthquakes, red heifers, Cern, rockets, eclipses, space. Is the world coming to an end? I think the world is always coming to an end. We're always in the end times. Ain't nothing to get bent out of shape about, start freaking out about. Nothing happened. Nobody got raptured today, as far as I know. Anybody get raptured? Does anybody know anybody who got raptured today? Anybody see anybody disappear? Because I didn't. But I was sleeping. I was asleep. Anyway, that's it for all of the main story news. And y'all know what that means. We didn't get them last week, but we got them this week. We got some this week. You can thank Stubborn One for some of the memes. And you can thank me as well, because I found some of these. I think I got a lot of them today. So we're going to have to burn through them. We're going to have to burn through these. me see something real quick. Make sure I didn't put none of the wrong pictures in here. I don't want y'all to see my bank information. All right. All right, guys. What is the status of the red heifer? Well, there's a lot of red heifers. Was my thing is that there's a farm in Texas that specializes in red heifers. They got red heifers in Israel. I don't even get it because I've seen red heifers all over the place since I was a little kid. So I don't know. But I didn't do a big segment on the red heifer thing. I just mentioned it. We'll do a deep dive on that one day, but I haven't done it yet. So I don't want to talk too much about it. All I know is I've been seeing red heifers my whole life. I don't know why they're supposed to be uncommon. Got them deets. No, we got them memes. It's meme time. Y'all ready for meme time? It's meme time! First meme. Yesterday, I explained something so bleak to my therapist, she asked me if we could pause for a minute so she could think about it. I'm getting close to winning therapy. I can feel it in my bones. That's right. We got to win therapy. We're going to Goodwill Hunting this piece. Next. Neil deGrasse Tyson says, for Santa to deliver gifts to all the world's Christians in one night requires hypersonic speeds through Earth's lower atmosphere, vaporizing his reindeer and his sleigh. Just saying. And then somebody responded, he's magic, you dumbass. Duh. How are you going to talk about a fictional character? You can suspend disbelief for everything except for the fact that he delivers all the presents in one night. The fact that he has elves in the North Pole and flying reindeers in general, you can suspend disbelief for that. But you can't possibly believe that he could deliver them all in one night. Dumbass. Next. Fork. I think I've done this one before. Fork. Tactical fork. Assault fork. Fork after fork control legislation. Common sense fork reform. Next. America in the 1700s. Turn in my guns, I'll shoot you. Tax my tea in the harbor. America's now with a bunch of needles in them and masks. I hope my government lets me go outside today. Next. Oh no. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. He's got the earring bling bling. Bro, you can't be wearing flashy stuff on your earlobe when Mike Tyson's around. This is what he sees. I'm not wearing a burqa. He knew I was fine when he married me. Warming up to the chat, I see. What's up, Amanda Thomas? Wear the Louis Vuitton burqa. I am not. Oh, I already read that. All right, Yoda, quit. Stop it. Nobody cares about that. Why are you coming trying to stir up drama? You're in the wrong right now, Yoda. Cut it out. All right. Okay, next meme. Where are we at? Boom! TikTok influencers in a few days. They're all gonna be ba 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 ba. I'm loving it. And if you don't know what this is referencing, I think California and New York McDonald's are saying that they're going to pay employees a starting wage of $20 an hour now. And McDonald's are already starting to close, fire people. Liberals are stupid. They think that if you just keep raising the minimum wage, then everybody can be rich and happy. Turns out that doesn't work. That's not the way the economy works. You raise the minimum wage, you pay unskilled laborers at entry-level positions the same wage that you pay somebody who's been working for 10 years and moving up in their jobs. It hurts everybody. The food prices go up. The jobs hire less people. More automation. They don't need you. They don't want you. They're going to fire you. Also, imagine you've been working at a McDonald's for 10 years and you get a 50-cent raise every 6 months and until you get to a max. But say, say it takes 5 years for you to reach the max wage for a McDonald's worker. And you've been there for 5 years and you're making $20 an hour. You started at $14 an hour. Now you're making $20 an hour. Say you worked there for 20 years and you started at $11 an hour or $7 an hour. And you've been working there and now you've worked your way up and you're making $20 an hour. Then they pass this new thing. Now all the new hires who aren't going to last for 2 weeks are making the same money you made and you've been busting your butt for 11 years. Granted, you should have probably found a new job, but there are some people that, they really can't do much else. So let them stay in McDonald's for life and let them work their way up. But now the new hires are making the same as the old guys who've been there forever. That's going to make a bad workplace environment. It's not a good idea. Anyway, next. All right, Yoda, quit. You want me to kick you out? If you can't act right, you've been acting right for a long time. You're on one today. Don't come in my chat with that mess, Yoda. I don't want to. You've been being all right for a while now. But cut it out. All right. Next meme. The pyramids are such a mystery. It's so difficult for us to figure out how these stacks of rocks were created, Even though the first thing you learn when you're a child how to build is a pyramid because it's the easiest, least engineering involved, least intelligence involved way to make a tall structure is to start with a big base and work your way up to the top. Literally every child in the world can build a pyramid. It's not that complicated. They say it's a mystery how the pyramids were built, but I reckon they just started at the bottom and worked their way up. Let's face it, this looks a lot more difficult. Yeah, I don't think they worked their way from the top down, I don't think that's how they did it. I think they probably just, put some rocks on the ground and then put some more rocks, and then some more rocks, and then some more rocks. You can even see the rubble from where the runway used to be. Not that complicated, guys. It's not that impressive. How to crash and demoralize a country. Yes. All right. I was in that stream too that she said was for girls. I was watching for a little while. I can only watch Terry Strange for limited chunks of time because, yes, it is a little feminine for me. Which that's fine. That's fine. It's not my cup of tea, but, there's a place for everybody on the internet. We respect Yoda's troll game. JS clearly never heard of the levitation frequency. That they levitated rocks to make the pyramids. I have heard that. I've also heard that they use sound waves and wet sand to make a symphatic. How do you say it? Syncophantic rhythm or something like that. Basically, synchronizing the sound waves in a rhythm to cause motion. That's why when they're rowing ships, they go, oh, oh. It's twofold. One, it keeps the people in synchronization while they're rowing because they're rowing to the sounds. Kind of like when troops are running together and they're doing chants, it's to keep up a rhythm. Also, in that case, it helps your endurance if you're yelling stuff while you're running. But anyway, there's like bridges where if a lot of people are walking across the bridge, people naturally will start to walk in rhythm and it will cause the whole bridge to shake. And bridges have collapsed because of this. It's called like a sycophantic, not a sycophant. It's not a sycophant. It's more like syncope. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but there's a video on the internet about it. It's pretty interesting how things naturally will align and then the sound waves will cause like motion. And so when if they put logs down on wet sand and then they all went, oh, the sound waves would cause the rocks to move across the sand easier. That's one theory. I think dinosaurs helped build the pyramids, but anyway. Next meme, Grand Canyon, Egypt. We got multiple Egypt memes today. Look at this. This is the Grand Canyon. Looks kind of like the Sphinx, right? And this is in Egypt. Interesting. They've also found relics of Egyptian-like relics in the Grand Canyon. I would venture to say that the people who did this, the people who possibly did this, the people who built the Maya pyramids, they're all tribes who came from the same place during Pangea, and then the Tower of Babel happened. They really like building tall structures. Some would say that's a good way to get out of a flood. If there's a flood coming and there's rising water, you build a tall structure so you could get to the top. But anyway, the Tower of Babel, the pyramids, all the same people initially in the same area, and then they spread out when God divided the nations, and then God divided the countries after the flood, after Pangea. So it's all the same people doing all these things. Anyway, next. The IRS. Like the sign says, it's all theirs. Theirs. The IRS is theirs. Like the sign says, it's all theirs. Watch out for the IRS, y'all. Next. Dr. Sydney Watson. She's a doctor. 2 people I'm yet to see in the same room. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Beta!
Is Ben Shapiro and Dylan Mulvaney the same person? I've never seen them together either. Oh, no.
It's a man, baby.
Oh, no. It might be true. Sydney's got a point here. I'm not a fan of Dr. Sydney Watson. I hate when women go to college just so that they can have men call them a doctor. Next. Share Coke with America. Pablo Escobar says, don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. Okay, next. Best not to tell this guy any secrets. Don't tell this guy any secrets. You get it? Why? Because he'll spill the beans. Next. Me. I wish I had superpowers. Person. What you possibly, this is bad writing. Me. I wish I had superpowers. Person. What do you possibly want to do with superpowers? Me. Cut up some sausage like Wolverine. Make a sandwich. Make a sandwich with my superpowers. Shout out to Uncle Pablo. He spilled the chili like the dude from The Office. He spilled the beans, bruh. He spilled the beans. Next. Yeah, she was your girl till she saw me line dancing at the club in my cowboy cap. That's a nice cowboy cap right there. Next. The Diddler! Oh no, it's the Diddler!
Beta!
Next. Everyone, AI will replace photographers. AI accepting the job. Look at these hands. Good job, AI photographer. Where you get... What the heck is wrong with this arm? How you got dang old hands looking like aliens in this piece? What the heck? Look how many fingers this thing has. Next. I learned to paint and gonna update some memes. You were gonna improve their quality, right? And then he looks at her. You're gonna improve their quality, right? He did improve their quality. He improved the quality of the memes with MS Paint. Okay. That is a better quality meme right there. Next. Oh, this is funny. I played so many JRPGs that if I walked into this room, I'd fight the Pope. You ever play Final Fantasy or Chrono Trigger or any RPG games? If you go into a room like this, the boss battle music is about to start playing. Bump, 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 bump. It says, if I ever walked into this room, I'd fight the Pope. And then somebody says, maybe take out the 2 healers first. Yeah, you got to kill the healers first, or they're just going to keep healing this guy, and you're not going to be able to beat the boss. Pretty good. Next. The McRib is back. Stop calling me that. It's Adam and Eve. He said, the McRib is back. She said, stop calling me that. My name is not the McRib. Yes, it is, woman. That's your name, Eve. Next. Oh, how the tables have turned. It's pizza on pineapple. Diddy, what do you think of that? I know you got a problem with pineapple on pizza, but what do you think of pizza on pineapple? You know who eats pizza on pineapple? A man.
It's a man, baby.
That's right. That's right. Next. What's the difference between a Democrat and a cockroach? The cockroach can tell the difference between a male and a female. Next. Study finds 100% of men would immediately leave their desk job if asked to embark upon a crusade. Join me. Yes. Join me. Yes.
It's a man, baby.
That's manly right there. We're going on a crusade. We're going to burn these witches at the stake. We're doing Crusades 3.0. We're doing Salem Witch Hunts 2.0. We got to burn these witches up. Yeah, we're just going to start some mass forced, what's the opposite of immigration? Exigration? Is exigration a word? Mass exigration from America. Forced mass exigration. Oh, the witches are going up. We're going to burn them. Next. I don't know if I have a good sound effect.
Beta!
Biden replacing the Easter egg with the trans flag. Super beta. Next. Democrats, when you're white and you disagree with them on something. Racist, fascist, sexist, Nazi. Wait till I get my money right. That's right. That's right. Next. I wish I could fix the government. It is done. Poof. A gun? My lawyer has recommended that I do not finish this joke. Haha. So true. Can't finish the joke. Can't finish the joke. Next. Happy National Day of Visibility.
It's a man, baby.
Beta!
Oh, Big Mike Michelle telling us Happy Trans Day of Visibility. He didn't. He protected me. Exodus. Yes, a mass exodus. We're going to cause a forced mass exodus from America. But exodus is when we leave, right? I don't want us to leave. I want us to force out everybody else. A forced exodus. Something like that. Banishment. Yep. Next. From The Independent, how climate change is hitting vulnerable Indonesian sex workers. Trans sex workers. How climate change is hitting vulnerable Indonesian trans sex workers. Nearly 93% of respondents saw decreased income during the rainy season. Oh, when it rains, the Indonesian trans sex workers aren't making as much money. So climate change is economically hitting the pockets of the Indonesian trans sex workers. We need to do carbon control, carbon emission controls immediately. Next. Our leaders aren't stupid. They're not incompetent either. They're traitors. You know that, right? You know that, right? I don't know. Joe Biden might be a little bit stupid and incompetent or like incontinent. Is that what incontinence where you can't hold your duty? He's got that. But he didn't used to be that stupid. You can't be that stupid to get to that position of power unless you're just a total puppet, which maybe he is. They're either puppets or they're traitors. Anyway, next. The people, this is from George Orwell in 1984. The people will not revolt. They will not look up from their screens long enough to notice what's happening. Right? They'll get all their information from the screen and not observe anything. That's from 1984, written by George Orwell in 1949. Was he a time traveler, Mr. Mad? Was George Orwell a time traveler? Because this was way before John Teeter. George Orwell predicted it in 1949. What do you say to that? Got him. I haven't even read 1984. It's not a very big book. I want to get it. And I can read it pretty quick. Next. The last thing a mail-in ballot sees before being counted 5,000 times is 3 lips. And what's up with this haircut? This bowl cut. Like, even when they have long hair, they still have it's like they have a bowl cut with long hair. But that's pretty true right there. Oh, the tar baby going up. When you're done, you can be my charcoal. George Orwell was a socialist. You could be right about that. I don't know. I don't think I've read any Orwell. Unless it was required reading in school, I don't think I read any Orwell. I want to read Animal Farm and I want to read 1984. All right. Next. We got to get through these. Happy Trans Day of Visibility. Here's a Trans Am. Nice. Next. Biden, 81, says the key to his marriage is good sex. With who? Who is he having sex with? Oh, no. Don't let him sniff in your ear. Okay, next. Hold on, one more. Beta!
Beta!
Next. If we didn't have the day of visibility, you'd never be able to spot us. Yeah, I think we would. I think we see you just fine from a mile away. Every time you go into the women's locker room, we see you. We see you. Next. The new Brokeback Mountain looks wild. It's Dan Crenshaw and Ben Shapiro.
Beta!
Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah.
Next. You have to get, oh, this is easy. This is so easy. You have to get in one of their cars. Who are you picking? Diddy, Epstein, Clinton, or Kells? This is not even a question. I'm getting in the car with Kells, of course. I'm getting in the car with Kells all day. Roll up to the club, we in the club. Soon as one of them walk by me and I be like, yo, what's up? You're so sexy, perfect for me, and I like you. That's all my shrimp and lobster honeys, downtown shopping honeys, no car and crib honeys, Remy sippers, VIP real honeys, taking up from this full honey. Is that Kells or Tech 9 though? I'm pretty sure it's R. Kelly. Well, I'm definitely getting in the car with him over all these other 3 people, for sure. Right? I don't think that's even a question. Next. Being called sir by a Brit. Being called sweetie by a southerner. Being called sugar by an old black lady. Being called champ by a dad. Being called bigot by a pink-haired they, them, SJW. Oh, that's the best. All of these are great, but this one is the best. This one is the best. Yep. Next. Oh, look at Oprah. Oprah's with Bill Cosby. Oprah's with Russell Simmons, I think that is. Oprah's with Harvey Weinstein, who looks just like Jeff Garland from Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Oprah's with Diddy. Oprah seems to be tied in with all of these folks. Watch out when you see Oprah coming. Next. Feeling cute. Feeling cute. Might enslave humanity later. I don't know. There's George Soros. Next. It's Ma'am. It's Ma'am doll today. That's that toy store that lets you design your own toys. Fleckus has some of them made. It's Ma'am. Look at the strong jawline and the chin and the broad shoulders. Oh, that's funny. Next. Remember, kids, if you encourage totalitarian methods, the time will come when those methods will be used against you instead of for you. Oh, thanks, G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe. I guess I agree with this, but I also disagree with this. I'm okay with a little totality, as long as it's the right totality. And it won't be used against me if we're like-minded, if all the people are homogenous and like-minded and share the same religious and cultural beliefs, and you have a good leader, then you're not going to disagree with your leadership, and they're not going to turn against you. When you get the wrong leader in there who disagrees with the people, and then they're trying to be totalitarian, that's when you have a rebellion, and you rise up and you install a new leader. Pretty simple. Next, understanding science. Follow the money. Follow the money. Next. And is that it? That's it. Ooh, we got through those fast. That was nice. That's it for the memes. Where my Soros money at? Yeah. Remember when someone was telling Bibby he was getting Soros money? I don't. But if he is, he needs to send me another Cashapp. No, Bibby takes care of me. Bibby's cool. But if you got Soros money, you're going to have to do a little extra. Me too, Josh. I believe I can fly. See, you agree with R. Kelly? It's the obvious answer. It's the obvious answer. Lenin said that? What did Lenin say? What did Lenin say? I don't know what Lenin said. Anyway. All right, that's it for the memes. Not a lot of rapid fire news. So we're going to burn through these reels, burn through this rapid fire news, and then we'll get into the stargazing stuff for the last 40 minutes or so. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay. First, I got a video from this El Cordova girl. She's pretty good. I like her. She raps. She's a white girl who raps really like high-level, intelligent raps. It's kind of just like spoken word poetry, but with a beat. But she raps about like Star Wars and like states of matter and the Big Bang showdown between matter and antimatter. Is this the right one? Anyway, I like this girl. She's pretty cool. She's smart and she makes cool raps with big words. So let's listen. Let's watch some reels, do some rapid fire news. All right, here you go.
Well, now, if it isn't antimatter, as I live.
This isn't one where she raps, but this is one where she also does these ones where she's like talking with herself, but she does one where she's like all the planets and the planets are having a conversation. But there's a lot of like high level intellectual stuff in here, and it's kind of cool.
Live and breathe. Howdy, partner. And you know as well as I do that two old gunslingers such as ourselves can't be in here at the same time. Is that a fact? It's the law. Her establishment, her rules. And she ain't keen on breaking them. Well then, seems you and me got ourselves...
This is not the one I saved. This one seems kind of boring, actually, but let me see if I can just go to her page and find a good one. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, this one's pretty cool. The Solar System Family Gathering. This isn't one of the raps, though. I like the raps.
It's so good to see everybody, especially you, Mars. Boop. Dude, what the hell? I swear to God, if you put one more of your creepy little rovers on me, I just want to get to know you better. Why don't you just go bother Venus? She's closer to you anyway. To be honest, she's a bit toxic. Oh, shut up, Mama's boy. You're just jealous that I'm twice as hot as you. Oh, the pebbles are fighting again.
Jupiter.
They always are.
Saturn.
Guys, I think there's someone at the door. Oh no.
Pluto!
Well, well, well. Look who's all here. Looks like my invite must have gotten lost in the asteroid belt again. Pluto, what a pleasant surprise. Take the sign down. You know, it's funny,
Planets
you guys
only.
always
It said planets only.
said I was the cold one in the family, but it seems I don't even crack the top 8. Look, Pluto, none of us really wanted to kick you out of the family. It was just a certain persnickety zealot. Earth. I thought as much. Oh, come on. You guys can't tell me you didn't notice Pluto's eccentric orbit, crowded neighborhood, weird-shaped body, right? Anyone? Yikes. Not cool.
Look at the moon. Moon moving away 1.5 inches each year. The moon's like getting away from Earth. Pretty cool. She's pretty funny. Check her out. Smart gal. Okay. What do we got? Formula One training. Oh, this is funny. Let's see if it'll play. Anyway, we'll watch this. Yo, this is an FJ Cruiser on the beach. They said take the FJ Cruiser to the beach. Watch this. Control, overcorrected. Boom, you see this guy go flying in the air? He did like triple backflip. He's alive. Hopefully there was no passenger in that vehicle because they're underwater right now drowning. He hurt his foot. He's okay. All right. This was funny too. Okay, look at this kid. He's practicing for Formula One run day. He's getting in the chute. He's getting in the cow chute. He's going to try to beat it. Ready? Hold on. Where's my audio? This kid laughing is so funny. Go. He almost makes it. He's almost going to make it. He's going to make it. Oh, come on. Why are we buffering? I don't buffer. We don't buffer around here. What is this? What is this? Come on. The end is the funniest part. It's only a 14-second video. Why are we buffering? This is Facebook's fault. This is not my internet. What's chat saying? Kid went from an A student to a D student. All right, can we stop the... All right, watch. Yoda, just stay hidden. You don't want to be here. Just stay hidden. Every time I try to give you a chance, you screw it up. So just stay hidden. That's definitely permanent what he did. Anyway, trying to get this to play. Sucks when somebody gifts you a membership and then you get banned on the channel because you're an idiot. You should cut that out. Grow up, dude. All right. That's it for the reels. I couldn't get that one to play. It keeps buffering, but at the end, he gets smacked by the door just as he's getting out. He almost makes it, and he gets whacked by the door. It's pretty funny. Okay, let's do rapid fire news. Spoiling the video of the kid running around the thing. Just as he's about to get out, the door smacks him and he whacks into the side. It's pretty funny, but it wouldn't play. We got some weird sex stuff news. Weird sex stuff in the news. Local news. University of Utah's Block U will not be wrapped in the colors of Pride this week. Here's why. I guess it's Pride week right now. And I did the story last year of how they painted this U. Where's the picture? You're not going to give me a picture of the U? Bro, where's the picture? Y'all aren't going to know what I'm talking about unless they have a picture. Maybe I can just watch this.
University of Utah's Block U wrap.
Right. So it's at the University of Utah. There's a giant U in the front, right? Last year, they wrapped it in rainbow and trans colors during Pride Week or some Pride thing. I guess there's a Pride Week. There's a Pride Month. There's Lesbian Day of Visibility, Trans Day of Visibility. There's all these sorts of days and months throughout the year. For one of the weeks, they wrapped the big U in front of the school with rainbow flags and trans flags last year. And people were handing out flyers saying basically, this is evil. We don't want this in Utah. Get this out of here. And there was like threats around the school and a lot of contention over this and a lot of arguments, and people were clashing over it. The LGBT low IQ STD community versus the Christian or the Mormon community. A lot of clashes over this U being wrapped in these symbols. And so this year they're deciding not to do it. Let's find out why right now.
Here on ABC4 News, you won't see the University of Utah's Block U wrapped in colors anymore. The school changed the policy this week. Here's how it's looked in the past, but now they say they're not doing it anymore to prevent any damage from happening to the block. They tell us.
Right, because people were spray painting it, but also there were flyers being handed out that I read the flyer on the show. I did this story like a year ago, last year at this time. And they're handing out, somebody was handing out flyers that said, this is evil, this is bad, satanic, get this off our campus, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, it's very threatening. And students on the campus feel threatened and they're afraid. So this year they're not going to do it. So we won. We won. That's a victory. That's a W.
In the past, they've wrapped the block for things like Pride Week and
we won through force and oppression, right? We exerted our force last year. We oppressed people. People were afraid. And this year, they're not doing it. So that is a W. West Side W. We won here in Utah. That's how we do it.
Veterans Day, but the vinyl wrapping damaged some of the paint, costing them, they say, anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars. Between that and the cost it takes to install a wrap, about $3,500, the school says they plan to take off the final wrap on the Block U at the end of the semester.
Hey everybody, Chad Booth here for the last.
Wait, they said they're going to take off the wrap at the end of the semester? What'd you just say? Block U has been wrapped a total of 7 times, since wrapped 3 times for Pride, twice for Veterans Day, and once for the university's Basic Need Collective Referral Hub. They changed the policy after the vinyl wrappings damaged the paint on the block. They said the repair costs could range anywhere from hundreds to thousands of dollars. I call BS on that. That's the excuse they're using. The real reason is because they know we're tired of that crap. Anyway, small little local story for you. Earthquake updates, aftershocks from northeast earthquakes could continue for a week, seismologists say. We've already done the earthquake stuff, so I'm not going to spend much time on that. That's why this is rapid fire news. We got Trump updates, Trump dates from Newsweek. Trump dates from Newsweek. Let's see what Trump had to say. This music is probably copyright. There's no audio here. Trump and Biden look set for a rematch of the 2020 election after both became their respective parties' presumptive presidential nominees following a series of primary victories in March. In recent months, both Biden and Trump have accused the other of representing a threat to American democracy. There shouldn't even be a such thing as American democracy. Straight head-to-head, candidate Republican challenger had 51% of the vote against 49% for the Democratic incumbent. An Emerson College poll of 1,438 registered voters. Blah, blah, blah. This is way too fast. I read fast, and I can't read this. However, among very likely voters, Biden is ahead of 51 to 49. And Spencer Kimball, executive director of Emerson College Polling, a YouGov survey conducted for The Economist had Trump and Biden tied at 43% each with Kennedy Jr. See, I couldn't even read all that. Don't
File 100% free with TurboTax Free Edition. Roughly 37% of taxpayers qualify. Form 1040 and limited credits only. See how at turbotax.com.
It wouldn't let me stop it. Curb Your Enthusiasm season finale is getting rave reviews. Well, I haven't seen it yet. I got 4 episodes left. I don't even know why I have this, but look at this Transformer Indian person. Indigenous couture makes a splash at the 2nd annual Utah Indigenous Fashion Week in SLC. The event showcased 19 indigenous designers from across Utah and beyond. 2nd annual Indigenous Fashion Week. I really don't want to read about this. I just think it's funny. Fashion show featured 19 designers from across the state. And this right here is a dude. This is a guy who looks like a girl. I know they say the natives got those 3-spirit people. They say that the trans stuff came from the natives because they had 3-spirit people, which is not. Where are jobs when you need them? 14 years and 4 months. The Dutch are known for their maritime excellence, but I don't think I've heard a story like that before. It's very interesting. Is it true that you live on a boat? Yes, he does live on a boat. Shout outs to IVF. We need more white babies.
Utah Indigenous Fashion Week, and this is our second. So we go through
Indigenous fashion.
Important is fashion and indigenous culture. We always express ourselves through what we wear, so it's just a perfect way to.
So what does that red hand on her mouth symbolize? What is that? What does that symbolize? Is that like blood? Like you killed the blood of a victim and you put their hand on your mouth? What is that? What does that mean? Did you eat somebody? Is that why there's blood all over your mouth?
Express more about what we believe and what we feel, and through a truly indigenous lens, 100%. My name is Jessica, and what we feel and what we believe and what we feel.
This is what the indigenous are about? Looking gay? I don't think so. I've never seen an indigenous guy wearing makeup on his mouth and eyeshadow and looking like a woman. I don't think that's a thing. Maybe it is.
Feel and through a truly indigenous lens, 100%. My name is Jessica Wiarda, and I am the director for Utah Indigenous Fashion.
All right, enough of that crap. Enough of that. Guys, April. It's April. Yeah, it is April. I had to count the months real quick. Did you know April is Stress Awareness Month? April is Stress Awareness Month. It's the same as the Northics. It represents their tribe. Yeah, whatever. It represents eating people. You can believe that false revisionist history if you want, but I know what it represents. It represents war and killing your enemies and eating them. April is recognized as National Stress Awareness Month to bring attention to the negative impact of stress. Managing stress is an essential component of a healthy lifestyle. Knowing how to manage stress can improve mental and physical well-being, as well as minimize exacerbation. Whoa, 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 whoa. I do think we need to minimize exacerbation. You can't be exacerbation. You can't be, you can't be doing exacerbation all the time. Only sometimes do you exacerbate health-related issues. It's critical to recognize what stress and anxiety look like. Take steps to build resilience and know where to go for help. The Mental Health American provides some tips on how to reduce your stress by utilizing a stress screener. Also, take some time to visit the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention website and familiarize yourself with strategies for stress management. NIH also offers several resources that can assist managers and employees in dealing with stress and anxiety. Ooh, they're so tough, including the Employee Assistance Program. Also, just like ghosts, if you don't believe in stress and anxiety, they don't exist, including the Employee Assistance Program and the Office of Ombudsman. While EAP focuses on confidential counseling and enhancing and maintaining the well-being of all employees, the Office of Ombudsman provides confidential informal services related to coaching, facilitation, and mediation. Contact information for both services can be found in the above links. So guys, if you have any stress this month, be aware of it. You need to be aware of your stress in April because April is Stress Awareness Month. All right, one more quick story. Suspect arrested for arson at Senator Bernie Sanders' Vermont office. A man was arrested on Sunday on a federal arson charge related to the fire started Friday at the Vermont office of Senator Bernie Sanders. Shant Sogomonian. Shant Sogomonian, also known as Michael Sogomonian. Yeah, if my name was Shant and I came to America, I would change my name to Michael too. Was arrested Sunday after allegedly using fire to damage the building at 1 Church Street in Burlington, Vermont. The building is used as an interstate commerce requiring the alleged crime to be prosecuted at the federal level. So, no injuries were reported, but Sanders' office was occupied by multiple employees at the time of the incident. Security cameras captured Sogomonian spraying liquid near the outer door of Sanders' office on the 3rd floor and then lighting the area with a handheld lighter. A blaze quickly began while Sogomonian departed via a staircase. The resulting fire damaged the outside of the office door and surrounding areas, and the building sprinklers discharged on multiple floors. If convicted, the suspect could face a maximum possible penalty of 5 to 20 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000, according to the DOJ. So somebody's trying to light Bernie Sanders' office on fire. We might do more breaking news at the end, but for now, we're going to move on to stargazing. We're going to wrap up the show just to look into astrology and stargazing. I'm not a fan of this stuff. I think it's evil. But since we're doing the moon thing, we're doing the prophecies, we're doing the rockets, might as well talk about some space religion. Space religion. Astrology, zodiacs, new age stuff. It leads into lucid dreaming and astral projection. And I was listening to an interview with a girl. I think she was also talking to Michael Knowles. She was talking to somebody, but she was like a recovered new age astrology type. And she was saying, I think the verse is Luke 21. Hold on, I have it in my notes. Hold on. Let me pull up these pages. Let me find this note real quick. I'm out. Have a great night, y'all. All right. Isn't stargazing just observing the stars at night? No, when the Bible's talking about it, it's talking about astrologers. It's talking about people who are trying to use the stars to figure out the future and stuff like that. Let me get my bookmarks. Okay, it's Luke 21. No, 2 Corinthians 11:14. Second Corinthians 11:14. And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. So these star children or star seeds, they call themselves star seeds. They think they came from space, and they're looking at the stars, and they do the lucid dreaming and stuff because they're trying to find beings of light. You hear this from like DMT users, people who use DMT and ketamine for their depression. They go on spiritual journeys, which are not spiritual at all. They're 100% physical. I've talked to people about this before who are like hippies, drum circle types, and they say, well, I'm spiritual. And I say, tell me how you're spiritual. Well, I eat mushrooms. I do ketamine. I go on spirit journeys. I worship Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, and the trees and nature and the stars. I look to the stars for signs. Mercury retrograde tells me when I'm depressed. I'm only depressed because it's Mercury retrograde, so I'll be fine once the planets move a little bit. Everything will fall into place for me. And they call themselves star seeds, and they're always seeking beings of light. Well, my argument is that none of that is spiritual. It's all physical. Mother Earth, Gaia, Mother Nature, physical. Trees, physical. The grass, physical. The stars, physical. Going on a drug trip to make a chemical reaction in your brain that makes you see light beings in your mind, physical. That's all physical. That's a chemical reaction in your brain. If you want to say that's spiritual when you're seeing the light beings while you're tripping, if it is, then it's demonic spirits that what you see, because those beings of light are not God. Those aren't good. Satan masquerades as an angel of light. And that's what you're getting in contact with. So if it is spiritual at all, that's what it's about. But let's look at some astrology stuff. See all the nonsense. Here's astrology.com, daily horoscopes, love horoscopes, work horoscopes. So pretty much you can use the stars to plan and navigate your entire life. You can plan how you're going to fall in love, who you're going to fall in love with, where you're going to go to work, all by looking at the stars. Stargazing. And the horoscopes are always so ridiculous. Like, let me see what my Libra horoscope says. It's blasphemous just for me to read this. I don't even think I should be reading this. Let's see what it says about Libras. The energy is poignant today as the Aries solar eclipse rises. Dear Libra, shining a major light on your relationships. That's not me. That is not me. Egos will be inflamed and emotions heightened. Not emotions, but egos, yeah, maybe a little bit, leading to unexpected clashes that could spiral if not handled correctly. I mean, that's every weekend on my show. Find that healthy balance between sticking up for yourself and working for others, taking space with those who won't play nice. Self-care will be huge for navigating these vibes, making it important that you stay connected with your breath and center if tensions rise. This is so stupid. This is so stupid because breathing properly, proper breathing is always going to help keep your tensions from rising. You'll have a chance to talk out problems when Luna and Mercury reconnect tonight, though it may be unwise to dig up ancient history. This is so stupid and abstract, and this could apply to anybody who believes into this nonsense. But yeah, it's dumb. And it's very feminine. It's very feminine. The ladies love it. The ladies love this horoscope crap. People ask me my horoscope, I don't even like to answer because I really think it's evil. But let's see what the Bible says. 1 Corinthians 15:41, there is one glory of the sun and another glory of the moon and another glory of the stars. For stars differs from star in glory. Yeah, people are like, the eclipse represents the Trinity. No, it doesn't. Psalm 8:3, when I look at your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have set in place. The moon and the stars, which you are set in place, they're massive. That's a flat earth debunk right there. The close relative projection, all that stuff, that the space is fake and the stars aren't really far away. The stars are very far away, and there's lots of them, and they go on forever and ever. Well, maybe not forever and ever, but yeah, that's the heavens. But I'm looking for the Isaiah verse. Oh, this is the one the flat earthers like to use. It is he who sits above the circle of the earth. So they'll say, oh, that means the earth is flat. And then they'll ignore this part that says that the inhabitants are like grasshoppers. So there's a metaphor followed by another metaphor, a simile, and we're not grasshoppers. Anyway, I'm looking for the verse in Isaiah where it talks about, this is interesting, and there will be signs in the sun and the moon and stars, and on the earth distress of nations and perplexity because of the roaring of the sea and the waves, natural disasters and stuff. That's all Luke 21. I think we're going to read a nice chunk of Luke 21 because it's kind of like apocalypse warning stuff, even though we've done a whole breakdown of Luke 21 in an old episode. I'm looking for where it says that the astrologers are gonna burn pretty much. I didn't write down which verse it is. Where is it? Why is it not giving it to me? Lots of eclipse talk in Isaiah. Okay, Isaiah 47:13. Thou art weary in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers and stargazers, the monthly prognosticators, stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. I want to read more of Isaiah 47:13. Read the full chapter. Okay. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if be thou mayest prevail. Let's go to ESV. I like King James, but for you guys, I'm going to make it ESV. Where is the ESV? Here we go. All right. You felt secure in your wickedness. You said, no one sees me. Your wisdom and your knowledge led you astray. You said in your heart, I am, and there is no one besides me. But evil shall come upon you, which you will not know how to charm away. Disaster shall fall upon you, for which you will not be able to atone. And ruin shall come upon you suddenly, for which you know nothing. Stand fast in your enchantments and your many sorceries, with which you have labored from your youth. Perhaps you may be able to succeed. Perhaps you may inspire terror. You are wearied with your many counsels. Let them stand forth and save you, those who divide the heavens, who gaze at the stars, who at the new moons make known what shall come upon you. What they're saying is, you go to these enchanters, you do your sorceries, you look at the stars to try to figure out the future with new moons, and you gaze at the stars. Let's see if that'll save you. But it says, no, behold, they are like stubble. The fire consumes them. They cannot deliver themselves from the power of the flame. No coal for warming oneself is this, no fire to sit before. Such to you are those with whom you have labored, you have done business with from your youth. They wander about, each in his own direction. There is no one to save you. This is a condemnation against sorceries, stargazing, astronomy, fortune telling, tarot card reading. All that mess is evil, and it's made pretty clear. If you believe in God, if you believe in Jesus, you shouldn't be playing with that mess. You shouldn't be playing with that mess. Let me read more of this article. I've heard questions like, what horoscope am I? Can horoscopes change? How horoscopes work? Horoscopes, who will I marry? Who is my soulmate? Horoscope is not a harmless fun. There are Christians who see nothing wrong with the use of astrological predictions or the horoscope for their daily living. They regularly look up their stars on magazines and newspaper pages instead of paying attention to God's word. This is very wrong. Our opening scripture shows God's attitude towards astrology. He made it clear that the astrologers, stargazers, and fortune tellers wouldn't be able to save the Jews from the wrath that was imminent upon them at the time. The same thing today. You cannot receive any true guidance of your life through astrology. There are dark sides in horoscope astrology. Yep, it's all dark. The astrologers are those who study the arrangements of the celestial bodies, the various planets, and use them to foretell the future. Astrologers can actually rob those who patronize them of their relationship with the Spirit of God. As a child of God, your life is not controlled by the planetary arrangements. Your life and future are in God. Exactly. There is no future. Take no thought of tomorrow. Yesterday can take care of itself. Um, yeah, trying to figure out the future by looking at the stars, not good. When you study the scriptures, you'd observe that God gave prophets, the children of Israel in the Old Testament, to give them revelations through the Holy Spirit and through his words. He leads and guides us today through his word and spirit that lives in us, not through the horoscope. He doesn't want you to try to look into the future by studying planetary arrangements to know what your life holds. Look into his word. Facts. So that's just some Bible verses, some thoughts on that. We can look at more of these verses, but a lot of this stuff, when you go to this website or you say Bible verses about astrology, they're going to give you a lot of verses that are kind of irrelevant. Just stuff about stars and stuff. Like, thus the heavens and earth were completed and all their hosts. That's Genesis. Behold, the Lord your God belong heaven and the highest heavens, the earth and all that is in it. That's Deuteronomy. Nehemiah 9:6. You alone are the Lord. You have made the heavens, the heaven of the heavens with all their hosts, the earth and all its hosts, and all that is on it, the seas and all that is in them. You give life to all of them, and the heaven bows down before you. Yeah, so just some stuff. We'll read a little bit about this from Family Tree, about the origins of astrology in ancient Babylon. But let's see what chat's talking about. Stars are balls of gas, poofed, burning millions of miles away. Thank the Lord I have beaten the allegations. I think there's something to it, but I don't think we should look to this before we first seek God. I don't think you should ever look to it. And I think if you're seeking God, you wouldn't even see any value in it. If you're truly seeking God, you would see no value in this stuff. You'd see it as stupid nonsense, demonic, if anything. It's my Friday night. I'm going to party so hard. Not really. I'm going to sleep. Pretty sure it's plasma, not gas. Knowledge is dangerous. God's command protects us. Is that Cypher from the Matrix? This is the art of ruin, Lamb of God. He looks like Josh's twin. Who? Guy from Corn? What are y'all talking about? Agreed, Jazz. Thank you, Tomas. All right. We'll read a little bit about this from Family Tree. Just a short little thing. Well, I kind of want to pull up that one video that I was watching. So I have 30 minutes. I don't think I have it saved anymore. Astrology. Hey, if you type in astrology, I'm on one of the top things right now. This guy, Troy Brewer, he was the one talking about it. But I'm trying to find the other Michael Knowles interview that I watched last night. I wonder if I can look at my. Yeah, it's this girl. This is not the video I watched. There's a shorter video of her, but her name is Angela Usi. I guess she's a former astrologist lady.
Wants to know what is a woman?
New Age practices.
I've been feeling depressed since I was 13. Like something's wrong.
That's a lot.
I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just ready to die at this point. I'm bawling my eyes out. I just said out loud.
But why do you still present yourself like gothic witchy vibes?
Jesus save me. And something happened.
The Witch of Endor. Saul has outlawed necromancy, all the stuff that we're talking about right now.
Right.
And he goes to the Witch of Endor, and he says, summon up a ghost. And she says, no, I can't do that. Saul, outlawed it in the land. And he goes, don't worry about Saul.
Yeah, this is 2 hours long, Bibby. There's another interview with this girl that's like 15 minutes long on another channel. And that's what I'm trying to pull up. That's 2 hours long. It was only like 15 minutes long. I watched it last night. It was this one. It was with Vlad. Vlad is cool. Okay, it's this video, but it's an hour long. Oh, here it is. 15 minutes long.
How did all of that go into your obsession or your interest in stars? And what are the star seed?
So, it's funny because, I just kept diving deeper and deeper and deeper into the New Age practices. And it's like, it's still.
Yeah, I've seen it, Tomas.
And that just was, again, a sliding board right into astrology, because it was me wanting to understand the constellations, me wanting to understand the planets and the moon and the sun. And when I got into astrology, I was like, oh, this is my thing.
But you can do that with astronomy, and you don't have to do astrology. You can learn about space and the planets and stuff and not think that they predict your future and who you're going to fall in love with and how your day is going to go. I know people that are so deep into this, they're like, yeah, I've been feeling a little rough. It's because of Mercury retrograde. I can't wait till the end of the month when everything will get better because Mercury retrograde will be over. It's like, bro, that's stupid.
Because it's so narcissistic. Everything about astrology is just entirely
Necrophiliac is the
self-centered.
rooster blocker.
Because it's all about your birth chart.
Yeah.
And how these.
Bro, if anybody can make the lazy eye look cool, it's a damn guy named Vlad Savchuk. Vlad is cool.
Planets affect you and how you can use the new moon to set intentions and use the full moon to release things that no longer serve you, and work with all the seasons of the zodiac in relation to the themes that they perpetuate and how that can really benefit your own life and how you can manifest all the things you want. It is just entirely spiritual narcissism. But I was obsessed with it because I guess I was obsessed with myself. I mean, anyone that thinks they came here to save the planet, safe to say, is obsessed with themselves, which is funny because I also
can't save the planet. We can't save the planet. We can't change the trajectory of the world. We can't remove evil from the earth. God gave dominion of the earth to Satan. Satan runs this playground. Now, God runs Satan, but God basically just gave it to Satan and said, do what you want. I'll see the ones who make it to me when they get here. I'm not worried about that mess no more. They'll get to me or they won't. I'll give them a way out. I'll send my son, give them a way out. They can follow it or they can fall away from it. And Satan, do what you want with them. The ones who make it to me are mine. You can't play with them. And Satan's afraid of us.
also hated myself.
Wow.
So, yeah, I learned that in New Age, self-love and self-hate, it's no different.
We can't change the world. We can't save the world. We can't change the future. That's not going to happen. Don't even try. All you can do is try to reach the ones who are seeking. Reach the ones whose God has already chosen to find him. Because God knows who's going to come to him. God knows which ones are going to make it. And our job is just to activate them. There's dormant people who God has chosen who just need to hear the right thing from the right person to be activated. And boom, we got another one. And then the angels cheer. They rejoice.
It's all the same source. It's all self. And the gospel says nothing about self-love and self-help.
She looks like she regularly walks into sliding glass doors.
and things like that. And that's not to say that I'm not saying don't take care of yourself, but the gospel actually calls us to self-sacrifice. And that's where real fulfillment comes. But Satan will do everything he can to get your eyes on the mirror rather than your sights set on Jesus. And that's exactly what all these practices do. It just makes you completely self-obsessed, whether you're hating yourself or loving yourself or somewhere in the middle. It doesn't matter. As long as you are worshiping yourself, that's the devil's goal.
Preach it right there. Preach it right there. So you go into astrology. Now, did it fill the void you were seeking to fix? I've watched one of the interviews where you actually mentioned that at the peak of all of that revelation about the stars and everything, you actually almost took your own life.
Yeah, so it wasn't working that well.
Yeah.
Ad! That game looks horrible.
So I felt like I had developed, like I said, some sense of purpose with the starseed gospel. And that coincided with astrology because the whole mindset was, okay, your birth chart is your quote unquote
Lee's
blueprint.
art I have.
And so with this mindset, it was, well, I'm a starseed. I came here on purpose. So I actually chose my birth chart. So that being said, I chose all the things that were quote unquote wrong with me. It's not that I was a sinner. See, it was just that I had chose all the things wrong with me to work through them. And so I wanted to help people. I did have good intentions. And for the record, a lot of new agers do have good intentions. It's not that they're evil.
Owen Wilson and Tom Cruise love child. Oh my God, that is so accurate. There's a helicopter outside. Oh my God, you know what I didn't talk about? I didn't talk about the conspiracy theory that during the eclipse, planes were going to fly in and drop some new powdered there was a theory that during the eclipse planes were going to fly across America dropping some new powdered like biological agent that's going to create the next COVID or like worse than COVID. That was one of the theories. And I hear a helicopter flying around out there. I don't know if I want to go outside. Has anybody died yet when they're walking around outside under the airplanes?
I was going to help other people with their birth chart and astrology. And so I actually did start a podcast before called Moon and Back.
You know where I heard that? If Stubborn One is still here, the Amish guy, the channel that you sent me, that Amish guy and his wife, Dave and Homesteading with Dave or whatever, that channel, he was talking about this plane theory that they're going to drop powdered poison on us. But in that same video, he was calling Easter Eastar. And he's like, some of y'all don't know this, but Eastar is pagan and it's based off of Ishtar. And so I had to comment. I was like, bro, don't be gullible. You're supposed to be this wise, like knowledgeable guy, and you're spreading atheist propaganda that even atheists don't agree with. Nobody believes that if they've actually done any research into it. It's not true. I've debunked it like 2 years in a row now on Easter, and he's spreading that mess. Stop spreading that mess. That's anti-Christian rhetoric. That's used to destroy Christianity in America. If you're saying Easter, Eastar, Ishtar, Eoster, fertility goddess, pagan, blah, 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 Christmas is pagan, Halloween's pagan, Easter's pagan, that's anti-American, anti-Christian rhetoric. Cut it out.
Where I would do new moon and full moon reports every 2 weeks. And I would talk about, for instance, if it was like the new moon in Aries, that meant that it was like...
Right, the new bird flu. That's what they're saying it is. Or something. There's some new chemical they're dropping on during the eclipse.
An initiation, and it was the start of something new. So
allegedly, I don't believe that.
You should really tap into that fire because Aries is a fire sign. So you should tap into your fire, your inner fire, and really go for it. Whereas if it was something like a full moon in Cancer, that was a water sign. So that was all about cleansing and emotional release. So I would talk about the things that we need to let go of, the things that we need to wash away, and all these.
Yeah, sounds like a bunch of nonsense. Sounds crazy.
And I was like,
I'm glad she's out of that. But I worry with people like this if they are dandelions. If they are dandelions. I don't want to say grifter. I usually only use the term grifter for politics. Political commentators who don't really believe what they're saying. I would call that a grifter. Or like when Dave Rubin comes to the right. When Dave Rubin gets on the Blaze, he's grifting. Or they're using him as their center guy. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, I don't want to say she's a grifter, but I wonder if she could be a dandelion, meaning is she blown to and fro in the wind and she just goes, the wind blows this way, she loses a couple chunks and they fly off this way for a little while. Then the wind blows this way and a little bit more flies off this way. So she's changed to Christian and she's going 100% on Christianity. But in 2 years, is she going to be a Buddhist? Is she going to be Hindu? Is she going to be Muslim? What's she going to be in 2 years from now? I wonder. I don't know her. I'm not judging her. I'm not saying that is her, but I see that a lot with people where they just attach to the next thing. Their little seeds blow off and they attach to the next thing. But has this root taken hold where it's going to grow fruit? Or was a seed planted on some rocky soil and she's springing up right now, but she's going to wither away in a short time?
whoa, because he was speaking my language. This is all stuff that I was talking about, just not through the biblical worldview. So hearing it explained through the biblical worldview, things started to make sense with me. Things started to click. And I kept going back to that church.
Ishtar called you recently about your PayPal account. The well of Christ is bottomless. She's going to be a candidate for maid.
And I just kept getting more and more of the word. And so as I'm starting to learn the word, I want to add this too, because people do it a lot. The only way that I could justify being a Christian astrologer is by cherry picking verses and taking verses out of context. I can't tell you how many.
But that's okay, because a lot of people do that. Like when they quote Ephesians 4:26 and 27, be angry and sin not. They don't read the full chapter, which is 100% against anger. That chapter is saying, if you still have anger and you feel that anger, don't act on it. And over time, it will fall away, because you need to put, and then in Ephesians 4:31, if you keep reading, it says, put away all anger and all rage and all that stuff. So that Ephesians 4:27, be angry, or 4:26, be angry and sin not, is not a justification for anger. If somebody tells you that, they don't know what they're talking about. They are cherry picking something, a slogan. They're sloganeering. It's called sloganeering, where, or like, judge not lest ye be judged. Read the whole chapter in its contents. That chapter is telling you how to righteously judge. It's a chapter about judging. It's saying Christians have to judge. We have to judge righteously. We have to work on ourselves so that we can judge it in our brother and help our brother overcome it. We have to judge. We're commanded to be judges. There's a whole book of the Bible called Judges. Judgment is necessary. Now, the problem is when you're not born again, you can't righteously judge because you can't see the light. You can't see the truth. How can I guide someone to the light if I can't even judge that they're not in the light? I have to be able to judge that. And that's what happens when you're born again. It's unfortunate, but we are cursed with the knowledge of good and evil. We can't just pretend that we don't have that curse. It would be great if Adam and Eve had never sinned. We wouldn't be here today, and everything would be perfect, and there would be no need for judgment. But once we have the curse of the knowledge of good and evil from Adam and Eve, our ancestors, now we have to judge. We have the knowledge of good and evil. It's put into us by the world. And you can overcome that, but you're still going to have to judge. Like, the judgment is necessary. That judge not lest ye be judged, that verse is not about not judging. That verse is about how to judge righteously. Or that whole chapter. The Ephesians 4 is not justifying anger. It's condemning anger and saying, don't be angry. But if as you're growing in Christ, you're going to have to work on it. You're still going to feel those times where you feel some anger. Don't act on it. And eventually it will fall away. That's what Ephesians 4 is about. It's not saying go ahead and be angry, just don't sin. That's not what it's saying. It's saying don't sin. It's saying don't be angry. I mean, judgment must come from a place of love. I agree with that. Nothing I did as a kid justified the belt, but dad was angry. Well, I don't know your story, but I think my belts. Well, there were 2 times I got spanked when I was innocent. But usually if I got spanked and the one time I got a belt, I probably deserved it. Really, the only reason I got the belt was because I started laughing when he would spank me with his hand. When my mom would spank me with her hand a couple times, that didn't work. So I was like, okay, that was stupid. Like, he tickles me rougher than that. When me and my dad roughhouse, it's rougher than when my mom spanked me. So then he started spanking me with his hand, and then once I got to like 12, the hand wasn't working no more. I was just like, okay, this is dumb. And then he whipped the belt out one time, and I never got the belt again. I was like, oh, no more of that. I'll run away from home before I get that belt again.
Many people message me and say, oh, God created the stars for signs and seasons. That's what it says. I'm like, okay, but what's the context of that? It's not zodiac signs. It's not zodiac seasons. It's literally like fulfilling his own prophecy.
Right, Matthew, but then it's just semantics. And that's something I don't like that. Like, oh, it's okay for me to say that you're not a Christian. But at the same time, I'm going to tell people don't judge. Like, it's a slippery slope, and you start contradicting yourself real quick, and then it just comes down to semantics. Oh, well, what I'm doing is not judging. It's only judging if you do it. I judge that you're judging me, but I don't judge, so I'm not actually judging. I'm just calling out BS. It's like, no, everybody judges all the time, constantly. It's unavoidable. It's necessary. It has to be done. It's just that some people are hypocrites. Some people have no place to be judging anybody, and they'll still judge people. That's hypocritical judgment. That's not righteous judgment. That's what judge not lest ye be judged is talking about. How can you help your brother if you don't take out the plank in your own eye? The blind can't lead the blind. So if a blind person is trying to judge and lead a blind person, that's hypocritical judgment. That's what that Bible passage is talking about. Don't do that. You have to be born again. You have to work on yourself. Then you can judge your brother and help him, bring him to the light. You have to be able to see. If you can't see, if you don't have the light, if you're still in the darkness and you're still blind, you shouldn't be judging because you're going to be judged too. But a Christian should be ready to be judged. Judge not lest ye be judged is saying judge not unless you're ready to get judged. And a Christian has no fear of judgment because God casts out all fear, doubt, and worry. What we fear when we fear God, the reverence we have for God, is the fear of punishment. When you're a child of God, you no longer fear the punishment because the punishment is taken away. So now you can judge without fear. You can judge from love, from the light, and you can help lead people to the light. But the only way you can help lead them to the light is if you can judge in them what they need help overcoming, and then you can help them overcome it. That's what that thing is all about. It's not about not judging. It's about don't judge until you're ready to be judged. And if you're a Christian, you're ready to be judged because you have no fear of condemnation, right? Does that make sense? That doesn't take and that isn't some crazy interpretation. That's just reading it. It's just simple reading. You just read it. That's what it says. God's ways are simple. They're not complicated. If you just read it, it says exactly that. That's exactly what it tells you. We all got beat. If Christ told you you ain't getting into the kingdom, you call him judgy and he gives you the stare. Yeah, right. Right, right. Or yeah. Yeah, I don't want to go into too much. This isn't a show about judgment. Maybe I could do a whole show about judgment someday. Cuz it's an interesting topic. It's I don't like to always talk about, well, anyway, I do it a lot, but it's because my news, one of the biggest YouTube channel that I watch every day for the longest amount of time is JLP show. I love JLP. I agree with 95% of what he says. The only one of the only things I disagree with him about is about the judgment stuff. Doesn't mean I hate him, doesn't mean I think he's wrong and evil. We just see it differently and it comes down to semantics. He would say you can't judge, but you can discern. What's the difference? Come on, you use discernment to judge. So you can discern, but you can't judge. I would say you can judge, but you can't condemn. We're saying the same thing. His judgment is my condemnation, what I call condemnation. His discernment is what I call judgment. So it's just semantics. It's just we're saying the same thing. We're just using different words. And he'll talk about how Satan controls people with words. Well, you're trying to control people with words if you're saying that judgment only means this one thing that I say it means, when everybody else sees judgment as something different. Like, why is there a book of the Bible called Judges? Why does God assign judges? God assigns or the angels through God assigns the authorities on this world. That means the judges. When you go to a courthouse, you see a judge. So, but anyway, I don't want to do a whole thing on judgment. Right? I pretty much just did a whole segment on judgment, but one day I'll go deep and I'll break out the Bible and I'll show you every place in the Bible where it tells us to judge. And I don't really know of any places in the Bible where it tells us not to judge. I know we have to judge righteously. You can't be a hypocritical judge, but it's pretty clear that judgment is fine and necessary. Witches today are hot. Anyway, back to the astrology stuff.
It's about him and his glory, not about you.
Oh, the point I was making about that whole sidebar rant where we went into judgment and anger. See, I agree with JLP on the anger thing. We need to drop all anger. Thoughts are lies. Agree with that. Trinity's not real. Agree with that. But the whole point I was making is cherry picking. A lot of people cherry pick. They cherry pick one little verse and they have no idea what the rest of the chapter says or what the rest of the book says or what the rest of the Bible says. Like, you have to read things in context. And also, this comes down to my problem with versification. I don't think we ever should have had chapters and verses in the Bible. I think it's a problem because it makes it easier for people to cherry pick, because they'll just say, well, John 3:16 says that the only way we get saved is by worshiping Christ. Okay, but there's other verses that say you have to do other things. There's other verses that say you have to do other things. What you have to do is take it all in its entirety. You can't just pick a verse and that's the answers to everything. Cherry picking a verse. We shouldn't even have these verses in here. It should be, if you want to learn what it says in Ephesians, you got to read all of Ephesians. Read the whole book of Ephesians. It's only like 13 pages. It's not that long, But before you start picking one little line out of a whole book, read the book. That's all I'm saying. Don't start the whammy mess. I disagree with JLP on Jesus isn't God. That's fine. That's fine, CISO. I didn't even know that. Actually, I think you have said that years ago. I think at one point CISO said she was Catholic. And then everybody in the chat was like, whoa, 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 you're Catholic? And now she's like, I never said I was Catholic. We know you don't have that Mexican accent for nothing. You 100% Catholic, C-Sal. Catholics are kind of based, to be fair. I agree with a lot of things they say. I don't agree with a lot of the things they say, but I do agree with the authoritarianism of it, the rigidity of it, the what's the word I'm looking for? The regimen, the repetition, the schedule. I'm trying to think of another word that is like all those words, but irregardless might get you blocked by God. Did she say irregardless? Don't ever say irregardless in my presence. I think the Trinity is real. Let us make man in our image. But God knows I don't know much. He knows. So that's Genesis. So why and this is what people think, that if I say I don't believe in the Trinity, that I'm denying the divinity of Jesus. I'm not. I believe Jesus was with God from the beginning of time. That Jesus was never his physical body was created, but I believe Jesus always sat at the right hand of God from the beginning of time. So when God said, let us make them in our image, he's talking to Jesus and the angels. They're all standing there behind God in his kingdom. He's making things, and he says, let us make them in our image. They're all, they're working together. That doesn't mean that Jesus is God. And also, if that also doesn't make sense, C-Sal, because why would God say, let us, plural, make them in our, plural, image? If Jesus is God, he would have said, let me make them in my image. But there were multiple pluralities there. So how does that show that Jesus is God? Why would God say us? Why would he specifically delineate that there are multiple beings in heaven if they were the same being? Also, do you believe that if we go to heaven and we see God sitting on a throne, do you think there's going to be one throne or two thrones or three thrones? I believe there's going to be two thrones. I believe there's going to be God and Jesus sitting at his right hand. And I believe that that's been the case since the beginning of time. So Jesus was there with God when he created the world. When he says, let us make them in our image, that's plural. That's two separate things there. And I believe Jesus is sitting at the right hand of God. When I get to heaven, I'm going to see God and Jesus separate. That would send me to the Bible too. Only God can create, so meaning us, the creator. I don't know. The way I understood that, he's talking about Jesus and the angels. It's like it's like if I say, what are we doing today, chat? If I'm doing a stream and I say, hey, chat, what are we going to do today in the stream? I'm saying, what are we going to create today in the stream, chat? I'm really not like, it's really me doing it. And you're just there along for the ride. I think it's kind of like that. Like God was saying, let us create them in our image. He's talking about the angels. He's talking about Jesus. He's talking about him, but he's doing the work. And it's just like, we are here watching. Y'all are watching this. Y'all are the audience. It's like if a comedian says to the audience, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight, or we're going to put on a great show tonight, guys. He's talking about himself. He's not talking about everybody in the audience and the production crew and all that stuff, but he's saying we, because we're all together watching this happen. Don't downplay all our hard work in this mug, Josh. What happened? There are Christians who think the archangel Michael is Jesus. Yeah, those are the Jehovah's Witnesses. I wouldn't consider them Christian though, but they they consider themselves Christians. But if you're changing who Jesus is and calling him something that he's not, that's not Christian. We can't be Christ one like Christ if we have different versions of of Jesus. Mormons say that Jesus is Satan's brother. Jesus and Satan are spiritual brothers, which is biblically not accurate because the angels. Well, Jesus was set above the angels, but then when Jesus came down to earth, God made him less than the angels, which is man. Um, and so if Jesus at one point is above the angels, then he's below the angels. At what point is Jesus and the angels brothers? Because Satan is a fallen angel, Lucifer is a fallen angel. How what the Mormons believe is that all the angels, all the humans, God, Jesus, we're all brothers. Well, Jesus, Satan, angels, demons, humans, we're all brothers and sisters, and we're all children of God, which isn't biblical. Man is above the angels. Jesus humble state of temper for a little while. He's made lower than the angels. Mm-mm. No, I did a breakdown of this before. It's in Hebrews. Jesus was made lower than the angels. I'm trying to find it right now. What a man, are you mindful of him, the Son of Man, and you care for him? Yet you have made him lower than the heavenly beings and crowned him with glory and honor. That's Psalms. You have made him a little lower than the heavenly beings and crowned him with glory and honor. You have given him dominion over the works of your hands. You have put all things under his feet. The psalmist understood that God gave mankind the authority to rule over the created world. The title Son of Man could refer to Adam as the head of the human race, being created in human body, giving his authority. He was made a little lower than the angels, yet was crowned with glory and honor because he was made in the image of God. Comments: totality of creation subject to the Son of Man. Control the Son of Man as Jesus Christ, but we see him for a little while was made lower than the angels, namely Jesus, crowned with glory and honor because of the suffering of death. So anyway, I'm not gonna do a being made a little lower than the angels and taking on a body eternally did not in any way diminish the deity of Christ. Jesus never ceased to be God. Well, this is Trinitarian stuff, but he's now seated at the right hand of the Heavenly Father. He's sitting at the right hand of his Father, but he is his Father? That makes sense. See, you get into like hypostatus and all this other stuff that is just Trinitarian gobbledygook. It doesn't make any sense. Big words, big philosophical words that really don't mean anything. Anyway, I can't remember for sure, but what am I to obey you for? I don't have it in me to debate, but I would love a conversation about this. Well, see, Sal, you've known where I stood on this for like 3 years, and we've never talked about this. What the heck? It's not like this is a new thing. But yeah, I would talk about it. Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit exist. Yeah, but I think the Holy Spirit is just the Father Spirit, the Spirit of the Father. If so, if Jesus is God and the Holy Spirit is God, and everyone who follows Jesus and has the Holy Spirit in them is Christ-like, a brother to Christ with the Holy Spirit, are we also God? Like Jesus is God? Because we can be perfect as Christ was perfect We can be one with God as Christ was one with God. We can have the Holy Spirit as Christ had the Holy Spirit. So if Jesus is a son of God with the Holy Spirit, perfect through God, and is God, can we also be God? And if we can't be God, if you say that we cannot be gods, then does that mean that each person who has a Holy Spirit in them has a different Holy Spirit? Because we can't have God's Holy Spirit, or we can't have the Trinity Holy Spirit in all of us, but we're not God. We can't be one with Christ. We can't be perfect as Christ was perfect. Or we can't be one with God. If we all have the Holy Spirit in us and we're not gods, does that mean there's a lot of different Holy Spirit? How many Holy Spirits are there? Are there 2.2 billion Holy Spirits on earth? That don't make no sense. The Holy Spirit is just the Spirit of the Father. It's not like a separate entity. And Jesus is the Son, the Father, and then the Spirit is the Father's Spirit working through us. Why does it have to be a Trinity? Trinity is Masonic threes. Everything has to be in threes. It's doing that code stuff that I was talking about earlier, trying to make codes into things. That triangle, that's a Masonic symbol. That is a pagan symbol. Pagans used it, Masons used it, Greeks used it. The triangle, the Trinity. Egyptians had a Trinity. Masons had a Trinity. All sorts of pagans had a Trinity. Greeks had a Trinity. Romans had a Trinity. Everybody had a Trinity. The only religion that didn't have a Trinity was Christianity until the year 300, when the Catholics and the Council of Nicaea decided to write the Trinity into there and settle the debate for us. Instead of us talking it out ourselves, the church fathers, because they have apostolic succession to Peter, they decided, we're going to tell you what the answer is. We're going to solve this debate. And but there was no Trinity until like the year 325. Christianity, well, there were a lot of Trinities in all the other religions, but Christianity did not have a Trinity. And then it got added in because we needed to be more like all the other religions. Dude, if Josh and I had this conversation, I would just come up with more questions. How come the Bible allows blasphemy against the Father and Jesus, but not the Holy Spirit? So the Bible allows blasphemy against the Father and Jesus. I don't know. I'd have to see the verses. I don't know. I don't know what that. I know about the blasphemy against the Holy Spirit because I looked into this. Me and Mr. Matt were talking about if you deny Christ, are you going to go to hell? Type of thing. Like the kids at Columbine. Remember a long time ago we were talking about this, Mr. Mad, and I said, do you think that in Columbine, when they put the gun to the people's heads and they said, do you believe in Jesus? And then if they said yes, they killed them. If you said no in that situation, does that mean you're going to hell? And I looked pretty deep into this in the Bible and read a lot of stuff about it. And what it said is that, yeah, I think that's where you got that from, is that you can deny Jesus and still be saved. It's not like the unforgivable sin. They think blaspheming, I don't know. I'd have to brush up on this stuff because I don't remember. But the way what I read said that you could still be saved for that. But if in your heart you blaspheme the Holy Spirit, that's the unforgivable sin, right? But I would say that just means the Father. Where does it say you can blaspheme the Father? I think that was their life's test and they failed it. You think? I think you could be right and wrong about that. You know? I think that for some of them, the plan might have been to die. The plan might have been to be a martyr and to say, I believe in Jesus, get shot. Now they're a martyr. Lots of people come to God because of that. That could have been their life's test. But then I think there's also a possibility that God, it wasn't their time and that they told the little white lie to save their life. and then they went on to do greater things. Maybe. Not saying that happened, but that could have happened. Maybe God knows the plan. We don't know the plan. I'm kind of flip-flopping on it, to be honest. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I think you could be right and wrong. It's all up to God, right? Josh is looking big on this one. Why? Because I made the screen bigger? But yeah, we could talk about it sometime. I don't know why we've been talking for like 3 years, Seesaw. We've never talked about the Trinity. Seesaw just came out the closet as a Trinitarian. No, I ain't mad at you. I was Trinitarian my whole life. I believed it my whole life until like the past 3 or 4 years. And I think I could still be converted back to Trinitarian if someone made sense of it to me. And I'm not a stupid guy, I know big words. I look into philosophy and all that stuff. I was watching a Trinity debate right before the show started. There's a guy named y'all should all go to his channel. I'm trying to get an interview with him because he only has 1,000 subscribers, but he's doing some pretty big debates. But I think he kind of thinks he's better than people. I don't think he'll come on the show because he'll probably say I'm not a real Christian or I'm not a good enough Christian or something like that. But what's his channel called? Okay, I gotta go. Common Sense Christianity. Y'all go check out Common Sense Christianity's channel. He's pretty much obsessed with being anti-Trinity, which I see a little bit of a problem in that. If that's all you talk about, that's all his channel is. All his channel is debunking the Trinity. Every video. And then the Trinitarians come in his comments and he flips out. He like gets all, you're not giving me a debate, blah, blah, blah. Now he's doing debates. So I've been messaging him or commenting on his videos saying, hey, you should come on my show one time. We could talk about this. I want to interview you. And I agree with everything you're saying, but you know how to explain it better than I do. And you know the verses better than I do. So I want to, there you go, baby. I want to talk to him about it. So go in his comments and be like, hey, you should talk to jsurbanadventures about this. But anyway, when he goes through videos and stuff and he explains why the Trinity is fake, it all makes perfect sense. But when I hear a Trinitarian explain why the Trinity is real, it doesn't make any sense. Like they've made up a whole bunch of terms that you will never hear used in your life. Like hermeneutic, not hermeneutics. I know what hermeneutics is, but words like that, like words like philosophical words that you never would hear any time in your life. Transmutation and something which explains the 3 in 1 and all these words that are only made up for this debate so that Trinitarians can prove their point and sound smart when they do it, but nothing they're saying makes any sense. You got hermeneutics isn't the word I'm thinking of because that's actually a fairly common word if you're talking about scriptures and stuff. I think hermeneutics is just the breakdown of the word. If you made me a mod, I would have linked it so much faster than Bibby. Hypostatic transubstantiation. Exactly. That's it. Tomas knows what I'm talking about. Hypostatic transubstantiation. That's how they'll explain why the Trinity makes sense. Well, it's obviously because of hypostatic transubstantiation. What the hell is hypostatic transubstantiation? You just made that up. They made that word up to explain the Trinity. Like what? But then when you rebuttal it, it's so simple. It makes so much sense. When you read the Bible, it makes so much sense that Christ is the Son and God is the Father. When you start doing the Trinity stuff, you got to get real high level IQ, intellectual, big words, weird stuff. it's abstract, and that's kind of why I broke away from the Trinity, because it's so much simpler the other way around. But I could have my mind changed back. I don't know. And I don't think it's a salvation thing. I don't think you're going to go to hell. I don't think anywhere in the Bible does it say if you don't believe in the Trinity, you're going to go to hell. But here's another reason, another thing that turned me away from it is the Trinitarians will straight up call you a heretic if you deny the Trinity. You're going to hell. You're going to burn in hell. You're a heretic because you don't believe that Jesus is God. Even though it doesn't say that anywhere in the Bible. It says things that you could kind of work into saying that, but it doesn't outright say that anywhere. And I don't think God tries to trick us like that. I don't think God is throwing curveballs like, oh, you guys are going to have to figure this one out or you're going to hell. I don't think that's the case. Seesaw says it's not a yeah, I don't think it is either. Yeah, so it really just irritates me when they'll call you a heretic. They'll say, you're not a real Christian. You're a heretic. You're going to burn in hell. Well, you're not a Christian because you're falsely judging me and condemning me right now. You don't know my heart. You can't see my heart. So you're making an unrighteous judgment and condemning me to hell. But I'm the heretic, right? Like, I think that makes you a heretic if you say that. Are you calling me a basic? What? All right, guys. I wasn't really interested in the astrology stuff anyway. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on that. But we read a little bit. We read some Bible stuff. We watched a little video. That was good. Then we got some good side conversation there. So don't block Matthew. But I got to head out, guys. It's the end of the show. Y'all can make sure you hit the like button on the way out. If you like the show, tell a friend. If you hate the show, tell everybody. We need to get to 5,000 subscribers before November so that I can do a 24-hour election stream with short hair. And all the conservatives will be like, oh, who's this guy? Who's this guy jumping on the scene? You never heard of him before. You did hear of me before. You just didn't like me because I had dreadlocks. So we need to get the word out. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you share it out to a friend. Tell somebody. Tell a liberal. Tell all your liberal friends about the show. Make sure they're here to watch it. And if y'all want to hit the Cash App up, Dreadedconservative, $ Dreadedconservative, one word spelled correctly, like white people spell things. On Cash App, you can be a member, all the good stuff. Send me all your money. Wait till I get my money right. No, don't cut your hair. See, half people say cut it, half people say don't cut it. So I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do. But anyway, I gotta go, guys. I'll see you throughout the week for gaming and reaction streams. Maybe we'll do a reaction to one of these Trinity debates with the channel that I just said, Common Sense Christianity. Throughout the week, and then Friday and Saturday panels, all the good stuff. I'll see you guys later, though. I'm out. Peace. If Floor comes here in July, she can cut it then. If she gets here in time, she needs to hurry up. But all right, guys, peace out. God bless.